Welcome, everybody, to the Sleestakians Variety Show. Can you folks hear me? My usual panelist is running a little bit late, but I'm hosting an open panel, and feel free to hop on. Sorry about the delay, and Hail Hiawatha, great to see you. I've got the link in the chat for anybody who wants to join. My normal co-host, usual co-host, Daniel Vega from the Tech Corner, is running a little bit late today. So, and I didn't realize that till just a few minutes ago. I don't usually operate a solo show, but I used to be a college radio DJ back in the day, believe it or not. Wish I could actually play music on YouTube without getting into trouble for copyrights. That's actually a big passion of mine. Not that I actually really know how to play any instruments myself. I've got a Moog synthesizer and a theremin. I don't really know how to play them. I just have them, just to dink around with, make cool sci-fi special effects and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of strange stuff going on lately in the news. Some cool stuff, but some kind of weird stuff. Like I don't know how many people watch virtual streamers, VTubers, but quite a few are leaving their companies for various reasons, and might be going independent. There's a new Zelda game coming out tomorrow. Well, wait, I don't know. Oh, does anybody know when it is coming out? I think it's coming out pretty soon. It's basically, it looks like it started off as a Breath of the Wild DLC and then turned into its own full-fledged game. Hiawatha says, "Hail, chat." And he's greeting me as well. Oh, he's doing dishes and lurking. Yeah, Vex welcome to join if he wants. I'm not sure about that. But about the last thing Hiawatha said. But yeah, so the way this show works, for most people probably are aware, but any new viewers, is it was kind of a variety show. I encourage people to come on and promote their if they've got a project or hobby. A lot of stuff is oftentimes I'll have independent comic book creators on. I've had video game makers, like indie creator, video game creators. I've had musicians like my friend Matt, who was in the chat earlier. And so it's always a different experience every time, every stream. And that's kind of why I used to private the streams after every stream, was I wanted each one to be a fresh new stream. But then I realized that there were people who wanted to watch some of the older streams, and so I've stopped doing that. And I'm leaving the streams up a little bit longer. Last week we did kind of a tribute to Star Wars. Did a little bit of mild trolling by having Chewbacca and I found a meme of Chewbacca and Han Solo's heads on Spock and Captain Kirk from Star Trek. They're on their bodies, and decided to just kind of have a little bit of fun. I grew up watching both Star Wars and Star Trek. I think the Attack of the Clones, that's the one George Lucas Star Wars film that I never saw. And I haven't really kept up much with the Disney stuff. I saw The Last Jedi, and I don't know. Parts of it were better than I expected, and parts of it were just as bad as I expected. But anyway, feel free to join the panel if anybody wants to promote their projects or their channels or whatever, and feel free to promote it in the chat. And I'll drop the link again just in case anybody wants to join. And if you like Green Man rambling on, please like and share the stream, because I haven't had a chance to really promote the show. Things kind of happened at the last minute, and my usual co-panelists plural haven't shown up yet, but they're planning on showing up soon. Hey Chris, well, welcome. Yeah, you're welcome to join us. I dropped the StreamYard link in the chat. This is kind of a different kind of stream for me. I usually do not host this stream solo, but I used to host a radio show back in the day, so I'm a little used to announcing. But thanks for joining us, Chris, and feel free to drop the link to your channel if you'd like. Seems true with anybody in the chat. Well, thanks. Yeah, some folks were like mocking my voice on a stream. DDA was like, and like some people thought that was going to be like some real hurtful thing to me, mocking a cartoon character for having a cartoonish voice, and it's like, nah, that's no big deal. But if you do want to promote your channels or promote channels that you guys like, feel free to do so in the chat or on the stream. Yeah, he's got a book called Wrecked Manlet. You guys can decide whether or not that's an autobiography. I'm not saying it is, but I'm not saying it isn't. Just be quite honest. I backed that book back in the day, but I never got around to reading it. So, well, feel free to join the panel if you want, Gable. It's kind of an unusual show for me, in that all of the panelists kind of dipped out at the last second. I think Daniel Vega for the Tech Corner will be on in a few minutes. He's got some personal stuff he needs to attend to. And please feel free to link out to share the link, whether it be the YouTube link, the StreamYard link. Hey, El Hombre. And welcome again, Gap. And you guys feel free to join the panel if you'd like. I'm kind of without a co-host today, and that's a little bit different than I expect. But as I said, probably the third time. Back in the day, I used to host some radio shows. I believe I hosted 6 of my own shows over the years, and then I used to fill in for a bunch of other shows. I used to play all sorts of music from like folk and jazz, rock, classical, modern compositions. Well, let's see, noise music. There's actually a genre of music called noise music, progressive rock. Let's see. Did I mention folk and blues? Anyway, all sorts of music, reggae. Oh, I hosted a reggae show. I play like reggae, rocksteady, ska, mento, which is kind of like a Jamaican form of calypso music. Jamaican maroon music. The Maroons are the escaped slaves from who fled to the mountains in Jamaica. It was a lot of fun. And hello, spammer, block me now. Not quite sure what you're spamming, but and people are saying hello to the spammer. But yeah, folks, please feel free to like and share the stream, and feel free to post your links to your channels, as well as any channels you guys might appear on. Like I know appear on different shows. Like I know Gable's got a show that he co-hosts. Hiawatha's on I think it's just is it called the Troll Show? With Risey Lee and Hargrave. Hargrave's an interesting fellow. He's actually a bear, which turns out bears and lizards get along a lot better than I thought they would. At least in my personal experience. Oh yeah, wide variety of music. Oh yeah, I also used to play like style. I used to. One of the shows I hosted was a world music show, which I think is kind of a bullshit term. It's just because it kind of covers a lot of like almost a potentially infinite number of genres. So that was cool. I could be playing like anything from like say Brazilian samba music to Haitian roots music, with like the voodoo beats and like influence from what do they call it, Carnival, like Mardi Gras, and some electric guitars thrown in and stuff. The Haitian music seems pretty interesting. It's pretty solid beat to what they call it, music razin. I don't really know how to pronounce Haitian Creole, so yeah, the Troll Show. No, TJ's not here. I probably shouldn't have banned him from the show because he could come in handy right about now. What project has you most excited in the entire comic exosphere? I don't really know right now. I backed. Let's see. I think I have a book from. Is it Ben Dunn from Antarctic Press on the way? Really like what the folks over at Antarctic Press are doing. And I've had some of the guys from Antarctic Press on my show just last week. Well, that's really cool. Yeah, so yeah, you guys might want to check out the Troll Show. It's not for the faint of heart. Risey Lee's a very colorful Australian bloke. Uses some very creative words that might not be for little kids. Definitely not for little kids, but I can also be extremely funny and clever. Oh, TJ was on there, yeah. So there's a couple of guys named TJ. There's the good TJ, the sober one, who comes on and talks about like video games and stuff. And then there's this other TJ who goes on people's shows and like kind of derails things. Like one time he was on and he was like asking if anybody had, he was on this channel and asking if anybody had bought like a suit from on the black market. Like, has anybody gone and bought like, an illegal suit that, that was, stolen? And like, we're like, what the hell are you talking about, TJ? that's not people. That's something that normal people do. That's actually quite wrong. And I don't know. Like, it's like he feels that like when he's on the stream, it's like he's talking to the priest and it's confession time or something. It really shouldn't be confessing. I don't know. Like, after he'd be on the stream, it'd be kind of like, maybe this guy really needs to get a lawyer or something, because he's admitting to a lot of crazy shit. Bad pandas. Well, there you go. Somebody finally dropped a link to something. That's what the show is for. I actually encourage you. Got a license to shill your projects, shill your streams, your friends' streams, whatever. And for fuck's sake, somebody feel free to join the panel. Oh, I keep seeing in my mind, and I probably should alter that because I've been on the air for almost 20 minutes now, and I'm still dropping the same link over and over again. So we don't usually talk about politics in here. I will say that I'm interested in this, in learning more about this RFK Jr. guy, just because I don't really know much about him. I guess it's Bobby Kennedy's son, and I mean, I've heard things over the months, and but Biden doesn't want to debate him in the primaries, and I think it would be really interesting. I think he's trying to. I mean, the YouTube policy makes it so it has to be kind of vague. But there's some things going on that's gone on with the government that he wants. He'd kind of like maybe like some documents to be declassified. I think surrounding his. The assassination of his uncle. He's also had some interesting views on, I'll just use George's word, potato chips, and somebody will have to translate that. Preferably not in my chat. But dropping the link to this on Twitter, get some bodies in here. Well, thank you, Hiawath. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, check out GAP's channel. He's got an awesome channel. He used to do a lot of Stargate content, from what I recall. Oh, and that sounds like an interesting channel. I'll definitely check that one out. But I'm going to once again post the link. And let's see, come join the panel. There we go. And I'm going to pin that. Yeah, and feel free, folks, to share out the links to the YouTube. I'll even the StreamYard link. Feel free to share that out. I'm going to pin. There we go. There we go. I just pinned the StreamYard link, so hopefully people will see that, and I won't have to keep dropping that every few minutes. But if I can always, it's no big deal to drop that link. Let's see. I'm also going to share out this stream a little bit more on to some groups, because I don't know how many people even realize we're on air. And let's see, welcome it to your guard. If you want to join me, the link is pinned. Well, you can just look up a couple messages. Hey, Shadowhawk.
Hey, what's up, Lorenzo? How you doing tonight, my lizard?
Pretty good. Kind of an unusual show, but it was kind of nice and cozy just to talk directly to the audience. Though that
Cool.
said, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just popped in. I noticed you were on. I was like, and then I saw the link. I was like, hey, why not? You know.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I don't. Have you been on the show before? I'm trying to remember.
Dude, I'm not sure. I don't know. I think. Have you been on with me and Rex before? I think.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I have.
But I don't know if I've been on your channel yet or not. So yeah, that's a good question, bro.
I think he started.
But anyway, I'm here now. So hi, everybody.
Yeah, welcome.
Hello.
Oh, and hey, Mid-Tigger Guard, always great to see you. I think I said hi to you.
Gable's in the chat. Who else is
Jack?
in here?
Yeah, and Gable.
Let me take a look. Oh.
And thanks, Gab, After Dark. Gab saying hi to Simple Jack. Simple Jack hosts Battlefield 2042.
Hi, what's the see? Hey, hi.
But he also supports.
Always good to see you. Oh, well, Hombre's in the chat. Hello,
yeah, there's a lot of people who I'm very grateful people showed up, and I just want people to promote their stuff.
Okay.
That's the main thing here.
Is this like a promo stream tonight, or do you have a subject?
I've kind of made it the last few months. Have kind of gradually. I've encouraged people more and more to promote themselves, in their streams.
Right.
There's some topics that I thought of ahead of time, but usually what happens is people come on here and they've got some topics they want to discuss, and I got some topics, and then we kind of.
Gable's got a great question in the chat. What is the next indie comic you're most excited to get? Ooh, man. Give me a minute to think about that one, Gable. Because I've backed a lot of new stuff lately. I can tell you right off the top of my head, two of them that I'm very excited to get is Marv Inkslayer's book and Doc Blaylock's Pariah. I think both of those are going to be spectacular. Uh, Small indie campaigns, but I think they're going to be well known soon. Um, uh, John Dillard. If you guys don't know who this guy is yet, I started off hating him. He seems like
Oh yeah,
kind of
yeah. A lot of people
he
kind of
seems
start
like
off not
yeah,
knowing what
he
to think
seems
of
like
that
kind of
guy.
an arrogant bastard at first,
Oh,
but you
definitely,
get to know
yeah.
yeah, if you get to know John, no man,
Definitely,
he
his humor takes getting used to.
right.
Because
But
because
once you
I
get to
didn't
know
like him for a
John and
while, and
you know his
no,
persona
he's one of
and
my
stuff.
favorite. He's one of my favorite creators, comic
Dude,
book creators.
he's an amazing artist. And
Yeah,
that new
and he's
book,
gotten better and better since.
yeah. And the new book he did, like the Canadian Tussle in that cartoon style, I love that, dude. His cartoon style is beautiful. I normally don't go for that, but I mean, he's really good at it. And again, I've been having this talk with Rex for months now. It's like, I hate to give Dillard any credit, but he's just so damn good.
Yeah, it's
I
yeah.
just have
He
fun
would go
messing
on
with him
show
in the
like
chat.
art shows and like it'd be kind of like it's kind of like when people are playing basketball or whatever. You
Yeah,
know, there's kind of like this kind of smack talk or kind of
yeah,
this
yeah.
you
He's
know
dunking on everybody once in a while, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, but like that actually makes things entertaining. Whereas there's some art streams where it's a lot more subdued, and there's people who like that content as well. Um, but it can be kind of it can be interesting when there's like a show like say like drawn and quartered. There's a drawn and quartered
Oh, dude,
show
I used to
on
love
at
that
10
show,
o'clock
man.
on Chester Busby's channel,
Hmm.
and he has an art competition, and people get kind of there's some pretty fun back and forth that goes on that show.
Well, I mean, that's what used to be fun about the original John and Quartered, and then, Smiller got all sensitive. So,
Yeah, I don't know exactly what all happened there. I think,
oh, dude, that was
but
fun. It's all well documented. It was fun as
yeah,
all get
it's
out.
the thing is that I think
And
people
the
were
bad part is I really like Mike too, but I mean, after everything he's done, I just can't support him.
yeah, it's up to each and every customer to decide because there's all sorts of reasons to support or to choose not to
Or not.
support
Yeah,
somebody.
exactly. I mean,
And
so, and I don't, and I don't want to get into all of that. It's just,
he had
you
an
know,
interest. He had an
some projects, I
interesting.
mean, it is what it is. And, like, I'm not a huge science fiction guy. So, like, I don't back a lot of the
Chad?
sci-fi campaigns, but certain ones, I do. It just depends. But I'm more horror and traditional hero comics, for the most part, you know. But I do like a great sci-fi story if it's good. Um, so it's just it's one of them things. Like, what are your preferences? What do you like? What art style do you like?
Oh yeah, Mike was doing the NFT for a while, and so was Duck to Naples. I don't know if either of them are doing that or not anymore.
Well, Doug is a really good artist. He's just kind of an asshole.
He's
Uh,
definitely controversial.
yeah, for sure. But I kind of miss him. It used to be fun when he was around.
Well, his original channel was nuked for discussing some political talk involving.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
went like
so I
yeah
don't even want to get into.
yeah he went like far right, and that like kind of got him in trouble. So,
Yeah, there
but I
were.
mean, I
He
don't
got
know.
a lot of
That's
viewers,
just another
but
guy.
then they nuked his channel, so like it really didn't pay off in the end.
But yeah,
So
didn't
I
he start?
mean, but
I
maybe
mean,
maybe for him it did. I don't know,
I mean, I think
Maybe
he
he got his
started a new
message out.
one.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he started a new channel that's doing actually pretty well, and it's like mostly politics now. So I don't know. I don't watch him anymore. I haven't for a while. But I
Well,
mean, you've been around forever, Lorenzo. How many people have we seen come and go and like
well, the thing
get
is, like,
mad?
I don't know if I'm coming or going half the time. Like, I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
One person will say, "Oh, this Lorenzo guy, he's CG," and this another person, "Oh, Lorenzo, he's anti-CG." It's like, okay, well, whatever. I've I've backed plenty of campaigns, not as many as you apparently. I think we've discussed. I think we did
Well,
discuss
I'm
this
an
before,
idiot, Lorenzo.
but
Don't try to emulate me,
but
dude. I've spent way too much money.
yeah. So the thing is,
Hey,
the thing
Chet.
is, and
Supply what?
like I'm not doing that just to bitch and complain. I'm actually, I really most of all, I I come from like my family values the
Yeah.
arts. It doesn't mean like I don't mean like my mom's got like my mom doesn't like have like a bunch of paint. I don't know if she has any paintings on her wall right now.
Really? Wow.
But the thing is that but we do come from like a tradition of we got some of our ancestors were uh, writers, kind of a long writing tradition. I'm dyslexic,
Oh
so
wow.
it
That's
didn't work.
cool, bro.
It kind of work. It didn't exactly work out for me, but though
Oh,
there
come
are
on,
plenty
Lorenzo.
of
If you tried to write
great
something, I
writers
bet
who are
you
dyslexic.
you
But
could probably come up with something, Lorenzo. You're fairly creative, my friend.
well, thanks. But like I used to be a college radio DJ. I was
Oh no
a
shit.
producer
That's
at a
cool.
public like a kind of a Wayne's World style, what they call it, public
Okay,
access
I'm not
station.
gonna ask you your age, but what were you playing on the college stage?
So it had so
Like what were the
so
most
let's
popular
see.
songs?
Let's see like well grunge like so grunge was like popular, but I couldn't play like I couldn't well I think I probably did. I might have played some stuff off of like Nirvana's Nevermind, but that was kind
Okay.
of like we were trying not to compete too much with the commercial rock station. So
Right, right.
I played stuff from the previous album by Bleach. I believe it was their debut album, Nirvana.
Oh yeah, I
You know,
remember those guys.
I
They
play
didn't
all
hang out
sorts
for
of
very long
music,
though.
like such a wide variety of genres. Like
So okay, so it
mentions,
was like I said, I wasn't gonna ask you your age, but we're talking '90s here because it's
yeah,
obviously
it was
grunge.
like I think it was maybe mid to late '90s or early 2000s, something or somewhere around there. Because
Okay, yeah,
I've been trying
sure.
to remember exactly when it was, but it's kind of
So
hard
so
for me
you're a
to.
you're a bit younger than me though. So
Yeah, I think so.
yeah,
And
I've been kicking around for a little while.
I know Rex is not a baby boomer, but if you were born like maybe a
We're
couple of years
Rex
or
and I
so
are both.
earlier,
Yeah, Rex and I are both technically like the first and second year of Generation X. Like I didn't even know until like 10 years
welcome,
after
Daniel.
they started.
Hey.
Like when they started all this new stuff with Generation X and Y and Z, I always thought I was a boomer, and then I finally learned the parameters, and I was like, oh shit, I'm a Gen X.
Yeah, these generational names. There was this
I'm in
late
between.
folk singer, Utah Phillips, and his views are kind of
Oh hell,
controversial.
who's
He was kind of an anarchist, but kind of leaning towards the left side of things, of the equation. But he 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 had he had lived in the Joe Hill hospitality house run by this guy named Ammon Hennessy, who Ammon and like Dorothy Day and I can't remember who else was involved, but like we're like early pioneers in what was known as the Catholic workers.
oh wow.
But what he had said was that this whole decade thing he thought was a way that people would go and limit and like try to like kind of pigeonhole these ideas and say, oh, this is the 60s stuff or the 70s stuff,
Right, yeah,
they kind of dismiss an idea.
and I don't understand why people have to like create these divisions. You know what I mean? Because I like everything from doo-wop from the 50s to like all the goofy ass 70s one hit wonders.
Oh
But at
yeah,
heart,
doo-wop was
I'm a heavy metal and rock and roll guy. But I
yeah,
still listen
doo-wop
to
actually
everything.
was an influence on. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no,
Go
no,
ahead.
it's all good. I'm used to being talked over by Rex all the time.
Oh
You know
no.
that, Ren.
Simple Jack says just because I visit Disney a couple of times doesn't make me a mouse keeper. Same thing with CG, just window shopping. And I really think it should be, especially with the customers, it should be a personal choice. You want to call yourself this or that. I don't think people should be accused of betraying someone if they
No, and
actually want
I
like
mean,
good customer service or
obviously, I'm a big
whatever.
CG guy. I've been a big CG supporter because Ethan brought me back to comics after 18 years. So
I like his
I'm,
real
I'm,
early
I'm,
streams.
yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
But but you know, I don't have this whole, you need to declare yourself CG. You got, as long as you're an indie creator and you're doing shit that's not
Oh, go ahead,
what
Mature Guard.
Marvel and
Thanks.
DC are doing right now,
Sure.
you know what? I'll probably give you a shot. So, as long as you're not doing the ESG, SJW fucking crap in your book, then I'll probably give you a look, you know?
Hey, full custom hot dog, welcome.
Howdy,
And
full
I got
custom.
the link.
Ah.
We got the link. StreamYard link
Oh,
pinned
hey, hi,
in the
10.
chat.
Hello.
I'm just tired.
Yeah, it sounded like you had some personal things to attend to. And
Mom needs some help with groceries, so took her to the
Hey-o.
store. We took longer than expected, though.
and definitely feel free, Material Guard,
Mid-tier
to
guard.
share things out to Discord. I haven't had the chance to really do so because I was running late myself due to my own fault, and then I we were the cable saw.
Custom's killing me in the chat.
Those two are fun to watch on. Was it called the Ice Cream Social? Hope I got that right.
Oh yeah. I think that was yeah.
I won't read that on air, but people can read it for themselves. And hey, K2J Extreme, always great to see you. Got a cool gaming channel. Plays a lot of different genres of games. I made the mistake before of saying that he played what do they call them, shumps with an SH, but like he plays a lot of games.
Yeah.
I think shumps are like maybe shoot 'em ups or something, but.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dude, I'm not a gamer, so I like.
I don't know the terminology. I played plenty of games back in the day. A lot of them were like obscure shareware games for the Mac, because the Mac actually started out as because of its graphics capabilities, even though it had a monochrome monitor. That was like a computer used for like desktop publishing and stuff. But because it did have better graphics, the Atari ST and the Amiga were even better because they were like in color, and they had better. Yeah. And I think they had better sound as well. But it wasn't as popular in the U.S. as say in Europe. So
yeah,
there were a lot of games made for the Mac that were ported to other systems.
Yeah, but if you look back at the day too, look at how fast that stuff developed, man. We went from 16 to 32 to 64-bit like in 5 years. You know, the gaming industry exploded, man. It was just, I was like back in the day when Mortal Kombat first came out and that kind of stuff. Oh, dude, I was a freaking gamer. I knew every finishing move, everything. You know, I'd sit there in the arcade, put in a quarter, and just beat people's asses for like 3 hours until I got tired.
It's always good to know a lady who has a good finishing move.
Oh, dude, yeah. And then they brought in like the friendships and stuff. Like if I really kicked somebody's ass really bad, I would do the friendship finish on them and like give them a birthday cake, or you could turn them into a
birthday cake.
You could turn them into a baby. There was a baby finishing move. It was
Really?
so cool, dude. I was having fun with it.
That's hilarious. I've heard that there's games where if you go and use the easy mode, they like turn your character or like give your character a pacifier or whatever.
Oh no shit.
I
That's
actually,
funny.
so I've got kind of a controversial position where I think easy mode is like fine for like if you prefer that. Like I prefer easy mode over a tutorial, but like once I'm like a couple levels in the game or so, I don't really
Yeah, you
need the
gotta
easy
up it.
mode, you know, and especially like if you're getting like say you're playing an RPG game and you're getting better drops in that role playing game because
Mm-hmm.
you know there's incentive to crank up the difficulty. You know, I'm going to you know want to have it at least normal. I'm going to probably want to
Yeah.
crank it up beyond normal just to get the good drops.
Right, right. But I mean, at the same time, like for me, you know, like there was like all these games that came out where you could buy all the upgrades and everything, and you could just like deck out your character, you know, if you wanted to spend $100 or something, and then you go in on easy mode or you know whatever your first time in, and you're just kicking everybody's ass. It's like that stupid South Park episode where the nerd was killing everybody. I don't know if you ever.
Was this?
They all turned it. They all turned into gamers. They got real fat. They were playing World of Warcraft, and they all kept getting killed by this one guy.
Was he like buying a bunch of in-app purchases? Was that the deal? I'm trying to recall the backstory.
I don't remember if they got into that on the episode. I think they just got into more.
Or was he just like he was? Oh, I think he was just playing nonstop.
Yeah, yeah. He was like an old, you know, like this old dude in his basement. He's all fat.
Yeah,
like, he can hardly breathe. And he's playing against these like 8-year-old kids, you know, and they're like, he's just killing the shit out of them. And they're like, oh, we gotta get better. And they're,
I can't play for like hours a day anymore. But
oh, dude, yeah,
I'm not gonna typically play for like say 5 hours straight or something. But actually, the last few weeks I have been
the last one that got me like that
a little
was,
more.
Man, I really got into that stupid Red Dead Redemption for a minute. And then,
the first or the second
it was kind of fun because you could do all kinds of weird shit, like just drive your horse off a bridge and watch him fall for 20 minutes.
You know, I've seen videos like there's videos of all sorts of crazy stuff, and I think YouTube.
Oh, yeah, there were like all kinds of weird glitches and
videos
shit that would happen in that game. Yeah,
pay to play.
It was interesting.
I don't like the whole pay to play thing, but so I've actually been playing some mobile games, which people just hated when a lot of people are like, those aren't real games, except for they're considered real in Asia, where a lot of the video games are being made nowadays. They very much take the Asians very much take mobile gaming seriously.
Is that like the PUBG stuff that I see getting posted?
More like the Genshin Impact stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's Genshin Impact. There's Mobile Legends. There's
but they also but at the same time they also brought Genshin Impact to desktop, so that kind of removes some of the point of Genshin Impact being a mobile game.
Yeah, you can play it on the PlayStation as well. I mean,
all right. So what's the difference between a mobile game and a regular game? Because I'm out of the loop on this.
So
mobile games are usually simple. Well, and oftentimes they're more like gacha games. Basically,
in a regular, go ahead. Sorry.
Basically, either it's pay to win or pay to get like extra characters. What was like in the case of Genshin Impact, you can pay to get extra characters if you just don't want to go through all the trouble finding.
Or with a regular game, you can pay like somewhat like $60, maybe $90 or whatever for the super deluxe or whatever they call it version, and then there's still in-app purchases where you play to win.
Oh,
like a lot of the so-called premium.
So that like
games
is
are
Candy
like
Crush and shit like that considered one of those? Is that like a mobile game?
Which game?
Like Candy Crush, you know, the real.
Yeah, it's a mobile game. That is 100% a mobile game. I
get the difference now.
See, the thing is, the thing is that most mobile games are purely stupid simple. A lot of the times they're stupid simple, and usually those is like it's like, oh, you ran out of turns. Would you like to buy some more turns?
Right.
That's usually
It's
how they
kind of
get
like
you.
what was that stupid game that got real popular? Angry Birds, right?
Angry
Like that
Birds.
kind of
Oh yeah,
thing.
that
Yeah.
was popular for a long time. No,
Oh, dude, I got into that for a minute, like on Angry Birds 3. That was kind of fun.
yeah, okay.
And then I got embarrassed. I was like, I can't be sitting here playing Angry Birds.
No, another game that can let's see, another game. It's like there's Candy Crush. There's like so many variations of Candy Crush. There's like Soda
Oh
Crush.
yeah, dude.
There's
Yeah,
Vegetable
so
Crush.
I
There's this
never,
that.
I don't think I ever played Candy Crush.
Yeah, I'm waiting
No,
for
I
the
I looked at it and it was like, I mean, it to me, Candy Crush and all those other ones that are similar to it are like, do you guys remember Breakout from back in the day?
Oh, I love
Where it was,
Breakout.
yeah.
yeah, it was like a pong paddle at the bottom and then you had a big wall of bricks you had to knock out without losing your
Mm-hmm.
ball, right?
Yeah, well, that's actually. But I used to play a shareware version of that, like on the Mac. Trying to think if it was. I think it was called like something like Brickles or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Because they
You
couldn't
guys,
legally call it Breakout.
right, right.
There are a lot of games like that. Like instead of
But you
playing
know what,
Asteroids, I
Breakout,
played Megaroids. Oh, go ahead.
but Breakout stole that whole concept from the original Atari game back in the day. Do you remember Circus Atari? You
What was it
probably
called?
It was called Circus Atari, and you just had a little stick figure guy and a trampoline, and you had like 4 layers of balloons going across the top of the screen, and you just had to catch the little guy on the trampoline and bounce him back up to break the balloons until you got them all cleared out, and then that was the end of the level.
Hmm.
But like as you got into it, the little fucker would move faster, and if you like broke a hole into the top, he would ping around on the inside and just like eat the whole thing from the top down to the bottom, and that would come out like at super high speed. It was like ding, zinging down. It was actually a lot of fun. But I think that's what Breakout stole it from was the original Circus card.
I don't know. It's like I said, because a lot of old games are on because like a lot of the old Final Fantasies are they're repixeled or repixelated or whatever.
Yeah, you can get them on a phone.
You can
right?
get those on your. You could if you were a Final Fantasy Tactics fan, you can get Final Fantasy Tactics for your phone.
Oh, cool.
You can. I
Have you
think
guys
you can.
have you guys done any of the the emulator games of like old stuff?
You can't do emulators on freaking Apple phones. So I can't do that. And
But
Oh,
I
okay.
have Android, so
yeah, I wouldn't know how to do it.
for legal
So,
purposes, I can't say that I
and we
recommend
don't
it.
condone it.
Right.
We don't condone behavior. So
hypothetically speaking, somebody could say download.
theoretically, you should be. Theoretically, you should be able to put it on an Android phone. You can. I don't know about an
Yeah,
Apple.
they can,
As far as I
and
know, you can't.
like and actually the I've heard some of the phones are actually more powerful than the Nintendo Switch. And by the way, don't whatever you do, don't
So
misconstrue this as me saying to go out and pirate Nintendo stuff because
No, no,
they do
I'm
not
not
like that.
suggesting that at all. It's
Actually,
just,
I have a Nintendo Switch, and I go and I buy things
well, I mean,
legitimately,
I don't want
and
to name
hopefully
any
the
names,
programmers get paid and stuff.
but there is a channel that plays video games every week on a late night stream, and they use like the emulators of old games and stuff, so
Yeah.
that they can do like multi taps and multiplayers or what have you.
Well, I was
So I
playing
was
Mac
just
games on
wondering.
here
I didn't
before.
know what
Go
all
ahead,
that
sorry.
was about. I didn't know what all it was all about. So
I was playing Mac games on here before, but unfortunately, a lot of my end up accidentally deleting. Basically, I accidentally cleared my entire hard drive. I'm on a Chromebook, and I was just trying to delete an account, but then somehow it deleted.
Oh no! When I
two
had
accounts instead of one or something. So,
no.
yeah.
Well, when I got Elder Scrolls Online, I was downloading it to my to my hard drive, and it was going into my gaming folder. It deleted all my games in my gaming folder.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that's gotta stop.
So, Daniel, have you started drawing yet? Because I didn't.
Oh, not yet.
Okay, because I was going.
Well, I mean, I started
you got
doodling, but
something on the screen. I don't know what we're looking at.
Oh, crap. Am I supposed to be drawing, Lorenzo?
No.
Okay.
Wait, do you draw?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
I'm very slow though, dude. That's why.
Do you have any drawings that you want to show off, or?
I happen to dig up some stuff from way back in the day, dude. If you want to see some stuff that
that'd
I
be
did
cool.
when I was a kid.
Kind of like show and tell for adults.
All right, let me see if I can find it. I got it around here. I got it around here handy somewhere. What'd I do with it? Shit. All right, look, give me a minute. I'll find it. Be right back.
So, do you know when the new Daniel? Do you know when the new Zelda game's dropping?
I think
is it like tomorrow?
It should have been today, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me check. Legend. Here's the Kingdom.
And we were talking about like those pixel games, I think. Square Enix had this.
No, actually, it's supposed to release tomorrow, actually, but for some reason,
tomorrow. Okay, because this is something I mentioned at the top of the stream, something that I'm planning on talking about.
But for some reason, there's apparently, I guess reviewers got it early, and they just decided, screw it, we're gonna put it online, and they put the full game on YouTube. So you can watch somebody. You can watch somebody play this game for like the whole 12 hours, like 12 hours or 12 to 15 hours. I think I saw.
Huh. That's interesting.
It's fairly long game.
Tears of the Kingdom is what it's called.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. But for some reason, like I said, somebody managed to put the whole darn thing on.
I know Kotaku got in trouble for something.
They got in trouble for basically soliciting emulation of their game, of their hardware and software stuff, and so.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's why I'm trying to be careful with Nintendo, because I've heard about this over the years. With. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, the thing is that Kotaku has just basically been getting themselves banned from left and right, because apparently. Buena Vista, I think I said it right, has banned them, and a few others. I think Ubisoft has banned them.
I think they're making themselves even less relevant than Kotaku already was, and I didn't even think that was possible. Because gamers just do not respect them. In general, typically do not, there's probably some who respect Kotaku, but it seems like very few nowadays.
Let me put it to you this way: I could probably start a game review, and I would have more credibility than them.
Yeah. They're very well. I'll say, hypothetically so in Minecraft. There you go. Please don't sue me, Kotaku. But did you mention pixel games earlier? Because that was actually something that I had.
Repixelated games. Because Final Fantasy repixelated. You can find.
That's something I wanted to talk about. Square Enix is I think it's basically an ad. It's just like why, and it's why Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster is the ultimate Final Fantasy. I'll just drop the link in the chat if people actually want to read it. I think I bought that on sale recently. I've got so many. I got so many games that I've bought recently on sale that I need to keep. I haven't played them all, or even most of them. So let's see. So here it is. It's not it's okay. So I guess it did share to YouTube. if people want to take a look at that. I just thought it was kind of cool. I've heard that it's not. I've heard that the ports. There's no such thing as like a perfect port, as far as I'm concerned. And there were people that some reviewers had some. I think they had some criticisms of the, of this and that, but I think it's pretty. This looks like a fun game, and I look forward to playing this.
Yeah, it's basically it's a lot of most of the pixels are on the App Store, so plus you got
this is what I got for the Switch. If this is the game I'm thinking of, Final Fantasy V.
Because you could also play Final Fantasy 8. 9, Final Fantasy Tactics. You can also play Final Fantasy 7 on your phone.
I know a bunch of them have been re-released. I know there's a mobile version of, what was that game called, where it kind of looks like they were in a K-pop band, or maybe J-pop band.
I think that's Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah. I did enjoy what I played of the regular version. I never played the mobile version.
No, I take that back.
Because it was kind of fun to go and like.
No, 14. Sorry.
And like I liked that the woman who was the mechanic, Cindy, or I think her name was. It was kind of fun to have this to be going on a road trip, and though I didn't find the car too easily to steer. Maybe if I had a steering wheel or something.
I don't know.
Kelly's like giant
steering wheel
fighters or something. I don't know. It was kind of. I thought the combat system was kind of unique. It's just I think the guy who was developing it, who left the studio and went on to form his own company or something.
He leaned in too much into the boy band, K-pop band thing.
Oh, man.
I don't know. It's
it was like, oh my gosh, it feels like a Gundam Wing, where like you're following a boy band.
But it was kind of like
boy band.
But it also felt kind of American, like you're like traveling along Route 66 or whatever.
Route 66.
The Route 66.
I think my
I want to drive that one day.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So that's
it starts in Chicago and it goes straight west all the way across the country. So like, I'm only like 40 miles away from like actually getting on Route 66 and go west all the way to California. So
that sounds like a lot of fun.
I've always wanted to do that.
You got some artwork that you were going to show off?
Yeah. I actually found it. Okay. Now you guys,
I'm acting like we didn't know that I asked the question.
Be gentle, because some of this stuff is between 40 and 35 years old. This is when I was just a kid, and I still had dreams of being a comic book artist. So I'm gonna have to cover up the signature on here, but this is one of my original characters from back in the day. Oh,
it's gonna take me a second to.
There we go.
There we go.
He was called Hades. He was kind of a horse-faced demon with a
That's
bit
actually
of a
really cool
trident going on. I think I did that when I was like 12 or 13.
Wow, that's actually better than some adult artists.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say who. I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, there's another one.
I'll say it's better than me.
Yeah, that's another one of the same character.
Yeah, certainly better.
But dude, I am slow. I'm telling you, like this picture right here, it's like 8x12 or whatever. It took me like 3 days, because I go back and I erase and I redo, and it's just I could never be a commercial artist. There's an old Eddie from Iron Maiden.
A lot of commercial artists could never be commercial.
Okay, well, I'll tell you now. Is like speed is not so much a thing. Is the skill that goes for it. If you can prove the skill, then you're pretty good to go.
I'm an old rock and roller, so I was always in bands. So I used to draw a lot of cartoons for my friends, and you got like
well, that's awesome.
Woodstock with a little bandana.
This is exactly what the show is about.
Yeah.
I have a hard time explaining that, but it
Snoopy,
is kind of like show and tell for adults.
yeah. Snoopy smoking a doob and playing
Really-
bass. You know,
It really
so
is. Yeah.
this is kind of cool. This was actually we printed this up and used it as a banner for our band at the time. We were called Resurrection. And
That's awesome.
for whatever reason, we were sitting around just drinking and getting high one night, you know, till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and we were trying to decide on the band name, you know, and I just was sketching away, and I was like, "What about this?" And everybody's like, "Oh, that's fucking cool." Yeah.
I was actually a vocalist in a band. That's I've got some
Really?
stories to
Oh,
tell
that's
about
cool,
that.
Lorenzo.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
started off as a vocalist, and I became a bass player.
I wasn't
There's
really a singer, but I'd like make up this kind of spoken word type stuff.
oh, cool, yeah. Well, there's an early attempt at old Shadow, but at Wolverine.
So somebody actually like told my mom like compared me to like the Beat Poets, which I think the
Oh,
Beatniks
I
back in the
mean,
day,
dude,
which is really cool.
that's a pretty respectable comparison, bro. This one is
Yeah,
just like
I
some
think
kind of
so. I mean,
psychedelic crap I did. I kind of stuck Hades in there and just
what's
like some
interesting?
weird. This was actually
and Bones grading you and Bones showing Shadowhawk showing off his artwork from when he was a kid that he found recently.
So how terrible is it, you guys? Hey, what's up, Bone?
Oh, it's not. I don't think it's pretty good.
I remember this shit is from like 30, 40 years ago, so
No.
I haven't drawn in a long time. This was actually an original D&D character that I came up with.
That's still pretty good for.
Yeah, she was gonna be an elf. Uh, what do you call it? God, I don't even remember the terms anymore. But she was an elf thief. She was like a combo character, right? But I mean, you can see she was basically based on Namorita.
Yeah.
So I kind of stole that one. There's another one from when I was just a kid, dude. I think I was like 10 or 11 when I drew this. And it was like my version of Ghost Rider with a cape. I don't know why I put a cape on him. I just thought it would look cool. And then here's a original character I came up with. Again, probably 10 or 12. He was called Ninja Master back in the day.
Halfling is that the word?
Oh yeah, halfling. Yeah. I think that's it. This guy was. I'm a huge Morbius and Man-Wolf and horror fan, so I kind of like combined everything into one character. And then I actually like this guy's actual superhero name is my name. Like I based a bunch of characters like on me and my best friends at the time. So and then here's another one of Ebony Avenger he was called.
Ebony Avenger.
Yeah, and because of course I was a huge X-Men fan, I had to stick Nightcrawler in there, and then I put in a note. Nightcrawler has been a lifelong friend of Ebony Avenger. And then here I've got this is crazy because I was nuts when I was a kid. This is a developmental page. So this is Ebony Avenger, my first drawing. This is my second drawing. This is his third stage. This is his fourth involvement, and then this is his final stage, which you've already seen.
Now you know. Now you will witness my true. My final.
And then this one I based on a friend of mine. He was called Apache Assassin. But again, I mean, I don't know. This is like somewhere between 11 and 14, something like that.
Wow. It's actually really good for that age.
This is a little bit later.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice little Wolverine I did back in the day. I wish I had dated
Wolverine was still.
I wish I had dated these things because I signed them, but I never dated them. I wasn't, I wasn't on my game.
It's canon now. I wonder what.
There's another little Wolverine. Yeah, sorry. Here's a Snoopy Phoenix. I don't know how well that's gonna turn out, but I did a Dark Phoenix Snoopy.
Oh no, it looked like Snoopy for a minute.
And then I did Superman Snoopy.
Oh.
I used to, like I said, I used to draw a lot of cartoons and stuff for friends. And I would just do goofy cartoon characters and make up shit. I've actually got some examples I'll show you in a minute. There's a little Nightcrawler action from way back when. Tell me when you guys are tired of seeing this crap. I mean,
I'm enjoying it.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay.
This is cool. I like seeing. This is what the show's about. Is
showing off.
This was my
showing off different things.
Little mini poster for Snoopy doing Return of the Dragon, but Return of the Beagle.
Oh yeah.
This is
I still watch Peanuts every once in a while, like maybe once a year or so. Actually, it kind of varies. Like I might like kind of binge watch some, or I might go like a couple years or a few years without watching.
My mashup of Woodstock and Hulk.
That's interesting. I would never thought of that combination.
And then here's my mashup of Snoopy and Batman.
Snoopman,
yeah. And then this is Mr. Beagle Universe, 1985. I actually dated that one. So 1985 was the year I graduated high school, boys.
When was it?
1985.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I was
so about a decade before I did.
I was 4 going on 5 by that time.
Oh, dude, I think this was another version of the Ninja Master, but I added a Nightcrawler tail to him because I just thought that was pretty cool. I'm telling you, I was a goofball as a kid. There's a cool little Spider-Man I did back in the day. I actually kind of like that one.
Yeah, that's
It's not terrible.
It's not. Yeah.
Oh, this is another original dude, and I never wrote his name down, but I was inspired by I think it was Warlock, the early '80s DC Warlock that Mike Grendel was doing. I kind of based the helmet off of that.
Oh, that's cool.
Let's see. Here's another version, I think, of Ebony Avenger. Just a little bit different. Another Snoopy and Woodstock partying, playing jams.
That's a great combo. Snoopy and Charlie Brown didn't always get along, but Snoopy Woodstock.
No.
Well,
Snoopy and Woodstock were the shit, man.
Woodstock, but like Woodstock would kind of bitch him out in bird talk, but then
I love that about Woodstock. He'd just be like,
but like I think it might have worked out better though. I think they were probably better friends than Charlie Brown and Snoopy.
There's a little Spider Snoopy and Captain America Snoop.
Snoopy's kind of a divisive figure. I've heard.
And then this one is I actually really that was like pretty much peak for me at the time, dude. I got to this point, and then
that's really cool.
I got really busy and I stopped drawing for like 20 years.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
But so this is stuff you drew.
Lorenzo, I mean, are you an adults only channel or not, Lorenzo?
Not adults only. It's whatever the.
Okay, well, I'm not going to show this next one though. This is a handmade Valentine.
Because
technically, I do not safe for work stuff, but we can't show that here.
It's kind of
right. But so this is a Valentine's Day card. A copy of the actual card that I made for my wife at the time, and there's like a surprise panel at the back. Of course, there's a
It's a
little.
surprise.
Surprise!
Yeah, well, the surprise is not going to be welcome on a channel that's not adults only. So
Yeah. Even with YouTube, what they consider adults only, is I think
oh,
I'm
dude,
pretty
YouTube is
tame
not going.
compared to what
YouTube is
they
not
show
going to
over
make a
on
mistake
Picarto.
about this.
I definitely recommend people
This
check
is
out
pretty cool.
Picarto. It's just you can't save
Now
your
that
videos over there though. Unfortunately, it's just
right now
live.
this one looks great, right? Those are not my pencils. I met a guy when I moved down to Houston. We became really good friends, and he was a great penciler, but he wanted to have somebody to ink his shit because he didn't like inking. And so I was like, well, give me some stuff and I'll ink it for you, and we can see where it goes from there. So this is one of my first attempts at inking a pencil figure. I don't think it came out too bad. And then this is
Yeah, I
one
like
that
it.
it's still pencils, and I never got around to inking it. I need to do that, actually. That would be kind of fun. But yeah, that's my buddy Mitch's pencil. Let's see. And then these are all photocopies of shit that I used to do when I was at work around the office. I got like a couple of cartoons I used to hang up on a weekly basis and stuff just to like entertain the people I worked with. But here's like another Ghost
Oh, that's
Rider
cool.
from way back.
Oh, hey, DJ
Uh,
Ronnie G, it's always great to see you. He's
Yep.
been on the stream before.
oh,
Yeah,
this is
feel free, folks, to show your stuff in the chat. Promote
yeah.
yourself.
They had me. I was working for this one company, and they had
Support.
me draw up a poster for the second annual party. I don't want to say the company name. But yeah, they actually used this as an advertisement for the company party.
Oh,
And then
that's cool.
like I said, I would do just goofy cartoons all the time. Like this one is based off of something that we actually had at work. And the first panel is the truck pulling up. Watch out, that puppy weighs it. If that puppy falls, it weighs 900 pounds. It'll smash you like a bug. And then next panel, look out, splat.
Oh,
Gee.
boy.
Fatalistic humor.
Oh,
So humor.
yeah, this is a Conan pick I did, but I was horrible at hair, so I left him bald. I forgot about that until I looked at it. I'm like, oh shit, I was really bad at hair. Here you go. Here's an example. There's my Conan with hair. And that was just one of the things I would hang up in my cubicle like every week.
Oh.
I'd do a new cartoon. Oh, this one's kind of cool. I actually liked this one back in the day. It's this is a Wolverine brood. Remember when he got infected by the brood?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what he did to get out. I think it's just his healing factor just.
His healing factor eventually
And,
fought it off. It was like the stupidest fucking easiest way to get out of it possible.
Yeah.
And
DJ
that was
Ronnie
one of the few
nice
things
Ghost
that
Rider.
Claremont. Yeah, he took the easy out of.
Did you do a Ghost Rider?
Huh?
Did you do any of those? Did you do any Ghost Rider? Because
Yeah, he showed it earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, I showed some Ghost Rider
I'm
earlier.
sorry. Kind of.
Yeah. And this is when I used to be in the computer industry. That's the job I was telling you about.
Yeah.
And I was a tape librarian when I first started off as a computer operator. So it says they told me working in a tape vault
AS400 mainframe
was like being in a dungeon, but
heavier.
and then I drew that.
Oh, nice ink work. So
oh, thank you.
So DJ Ronnie G is talking about was it AS400 mainframe?
A what?
I don't know. I think he's talking about IBM mainframes.
Oh, no shit. Okay, yeah. Dude, when I was in the industry, it was 89 to 92. And IBM first came out with their big ass dual processor. I think it was a 300E something or another, and you had to. I mean, I learned how to do. We strung miles of fiber optic cables, and oh god, it was a nightmare.
So
I hated being in computers too.
you're welcome on the panel, DJ Ronnie G. Well, StreamYard's really redone their layout.
What's that?
I think StreamYard redid their layout a little.
Again?
Well, they did a few
Yeah.
years ago. Because
Did you notice what you call it? YouTube did that again too. They moved the spot where you get into the live chat now for no apparent reason. Like the button for
recently
live chat has
decommissioned
moved.
our
I have
tape
no idea.
library.
They moved the button to go into live chat. So if you hit live chat like on the main bar, it gives you an arrow and it says live chat has moved, and then you gotta click underneath it. It's I don't know. Fucking
Yeah, I
weird.
don't like it. I think the problem is that maybe to justify their like being kept on as employees, they have to keep tinkering with stuff. I don't know. Or maybe the company wants them to keep things fresh looking, kind of like you go to the grocery store and they do a big remodel, and then when you go to look for the ketchup, you end up going past a bunch of other stuff. Then and you end up buying. You might end up buying that because otherwise, if you just know where stuff is in the grocery store, you might not.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why they would do that with YouTube. I honestly don't, because it's definitely more useful with the grocery store if you're trying to get people to buy items. But are you really going to get somebody to use some feature just because you moved it?
No, dude, and you know what? I've never just gone on to YouTube and like gone to comics, like, or I mean, Indiegogo. Like every time I go onto Indiegogo, it's because I want to learn more about a campaign I'm getting ready to back. I don't just go on there searching for new shit. I want to know what something is. You know what I mean?
Just don't back something blindly because somebody.
Did they move things around in Indiegogo?
Well, I did that a lot, when I first started in CG because I just wanted to like support everybody. But it turned out that some of those, and I'm not naming no names. I'm not causing no controversy.
We don't have to.
But some of them turned out to be mistakes. That's all I'm saying.
And I'm going to post the link if anybody else wants to join the panel. Oh no, that's a Square Enix link. Oh crap. That's not the link. So let's see. I want to make sure I got the right link this time.
Is that Hammerella? What is that? I'm sorry.
No, it's I'm just putting hammers.
That's not the right one.
Because I'm being a dork. But I have to ask him what he wants. It's probably going to be like baseball bat looking lightsaber type thing. Good, because it's for a comic, but we kind of do some party or something in this one. And Lorenzo himself again.
Nice, man. I like the layout. That's cool.
Thank you. Well, he wanted me to follow like an old comic book, but I'm adjusting the position mainly because the position is freaking weird, and it just it looked okay back then, but today it just looks weird now.
Yeah, I get you. Well, I mean, dude, like the stuff I was just doing, showing you that old ass artwork, it was like, God, it was cringeworthy the whole time.
Well, the like the character, I think before Lawrence put it back, the feet were actually her legs were swapped differently. So this one, so her left was extended and her right was kind of coming in backwards, and it just looked goofy. And I was like, yeah, no, let's change this because I think this offers a little bit more easy read on for the reader's eye as far as the cover is concerned. So
okay, well, I guess here's a little bit of a controversial point. So, a lot of artists really concentrate on the face, the upper body, and all that stuff. But when it comes to the lower body, I mean, and I don't want to, again, start any controversy, but I think Rob Liefeld was famous for it.
Mm.
You just fade everything out or block it by a rock or there's an explosion or something because you don't want to draw feet and knees and shit. 'Cause that shit's hard, you know. And you got to get the angles right and all that. So it's easier just to block that shit out.
Well, this was more that the way this was positioned is like her legs just look wonky in the shot.
No. That's what I'm saying. No, they look good, but
Yeah, thank you.
I think that's the reason why a lot of people, you know, they pay attention to the upper body, and then when they hit the waistline, it's like, oh, we'll just, you know,
Yeah,
do
we'll just
do what we can here. Nobody's gonna pay attention to the legs. Yeah.
I don't know, which is pretty bad for.
Yeah, yeah, that I see that shit every time, and I'm just like, oh, come on, man. You could have spent another 30 minutes on that drawing and finished, you know.
No, I mean, because I do something from a brother, and it was going to be pretty plain on the outfit, and I was like, and then so I just changed it, and so it took longer than I needed to, but
Okay,
it came out better.
Well, I mean, you know, and yeah, if you're working together as collaborators, I mean, you know, that's a good thing. But like, if you're buying a commission, I mean, I think you kind of
Well,
want
technically it's a commission, but I was like,
right. But I think you kind of want people. It depends, you know. I mean, how in your mindset, you know, that you're set on your character.
well, it's supposed to be a half plate wearing paladin using a whip similar to Castlevania. So basically, like if you ever played Lord of the Shadows, it'll Gabriel Belmont.
Ah, okay. I get. All right, cool.
I'm like, okay, okay. I guess he's referring to Gabriel Belmont because that's basically what he was. He was a paladin wearing half plate armor, swinging a whip.
Yeah, I love that he just had a whip too. That was.
Well, he still
Since
had
when is?
daggers and
Oh
other.
yeah. But I mean, like, really, when is a whip going to be effective against a vampire?
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be. It's more that the fact that the weapon is consecrated.
Right. Yeah. Because of course, if anything that's blessed or dipped in holy water, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, speaking of the old like vampire stuff, did you get into any Vampire Hunter D back in the day?
I did. I've seen I've seen the original one, and I don't know.
Oh, the cartoon and stuff. Yeah, there was. I think it was either PS1 or PS2. They had a really fucking tight Vampire Hunter D game, man. It was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. It's basically.
Hey, Scrambles, welcome to the chat. Thanks for joining us. If anybody likes what they're seeing, please like and share, and feel free to promote your stuff in the chat. And you can use the StreamYard and join the discussion.
Scrambles the Death Dealer. Great freaking name.
Yeah, it's always good to see him too.
That's an awesome name, bro. I love it. Death Dealer is like one of my favorite characters ever.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey boys, thanks for having me. I gotta go grab. I gotta go grab some
where can
dinner
we
and
find
start.
you?
Where can people find you, man?
I'm on Instagram under Shadowhawk Talks. I'm on Twitter under Shadowhawk Facts, and I can't give you my Facebook because that's my real name.
Fine.
I gotta figure out how to change it.
Not asking you guys.
But again, thank you all. I appreciate you having me on, and it was fun, man. Thanks, Lorenzo.
Yeah, thanks for going on the panel. That was awesome seeing your stuff from when you were a teenager.
Oh, bro, dude, I haven't even shown Rex that stuff yet. So that's a first for every. Yeah, he's never even seen that yet.
Well, I feel blessed. So.
Rex is back. He's like, I'm on the old link. He's gonna yell at me now because I'm showing stuff I didn't show on his channel. All right, I gotta go, boy.
Later.
Have a great night, everybody. Hail all, and we love you.
Love you too. Well, that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Go back to. There we go. Went back to your
back to the babes. No. Yeah, I'm just kind of
yeah.
redefining the body, kind of making this look better, and the more I do this, and the better it gets. And then, so I'm just kind of having fun with it. How's it going, Anna?
Oh, hey, Anna. Good to see you as always. I don't play Battlefield 2042. Or
I
like a
don't.
lot of online games, but she does an awesome job. Like not only she is an awesome player, but like her and her friends, the back and forth banter is just so entertaining. It's some really clever stuff. And thanks for joining us. I always like seeing you.
Doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I started off the show by myself. Well, not by myself because I had the chat. And that was really cool to interact that way with the chat.
Yeah, I apologize, dude.
Well,
we took a little longer than usual.
Well, thanks for the heads up, though.
Right.
And it gave me a chance to interact, just kind of one-on-one with the chat, that's become more and more of a thing. And for the show is I'm trying to figure out new ways of making the people in the chat, part of the show.
Being entertainer. Yeah.
Yeah, and even like to the point of, dropping the StreamYard link, which for a while there I didn't do that often, Oh, and welcome Simply the Norvin Variety. And are you from the Philippines? And I've seen that abbreviation used by streamers from the Philippines. We do have quite a few viewers from the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, I've gotten some commissions from people who are like on the other side of the globe. Like, got a dude from Japan, got a dude from Germany.
I believe Anna, are you in Australia? Hope I'm not doxing you. Streams should be all about interacting with people that watch and make them feel welcome every time. Yeah, that's one of the things that if the panel gets too big, like if there's 10 people on there, then I can't really interact with the chat. So I'm trying to keep from doing that. I think we're pretty much succeeding this week. Because this panel's not too big, but we've got a few people on here now. Welcome, DJ Ronnie G.
Oh, hey, what's up? How you doing, Lorenzo? It's good to see you, man. And
it's good to see you too.
Good to see you too.
I'm gonna zoom in for a second because we've actually got someone on the camera this week. That's.
I'm holding a pen not because I actually know how to operate the tablet, but because I can do John Madden graphics now. I can actually do John Madden graphics. I mean, it's basically Photoshop with a green chroma key, basically, or green background of that chroma key, and that's the extent of my skill right now. And I can trace too, but obviously anybody can trace. But that's not why I'm here. I just wanted to drop in.
Norman Rockwell sure could.
Really? Was that his thing?
Yeah, he actually was a tracer.
Oh wow! I did not know that, but that
he drew from reference, but so he would get a photo and he would just kind of try to draw from reference.
Well, the way this one article described it was he would actually kind of direct the photo, like maybe like how a director would direct a movie. He would stage the whole thing, have people sit in this area, do this and that, and then he might have brought in like a photographer to help him with the out with it.
Mm-hmm.
But then it looked like he would, it looked like he would draw some things though that weren't necessarily in in the same photo. I don't know if he'd use a separate photo, or if he would just draw some of it freehand. It's interesting. But we're gonna say DJ Ronnie G.
I can respect the artwork because look, was he using oil paint or a different type of media? Paint type of paint.
I think he was using oil.
Okay, well, that's
It could
some
also be
skill.
Gosh. Now I gotta look him up. Norman Rockefeller.
Yeah, because recently my friend and his wife were watching Bob Ross, and I learned a little bit about, how that worked. Basically, he would do his wipe and put the chemical cocktail on the canvas, and you would have like a certain amount of time where you can continually edit or erase or move the paint around before it sets or before, the chemicals do what they do. So I thought that was kind of, interesting, and I could see where, if even when you're tracing a photo, it takes, a certain level of skill. I think I could respect that he took advantage of the modern, technology that was photography at the time.
Oh, so apparently Anna's from, Anna is from Australia. Okay. And there's another Anna with one Anne who plays Battlefield 2042, just like this Anna does. But the other Anna is from France. So I've been meeting a lot of interesting people. I think a lot of them were through either the Mike Brown Show or Simple Jack's channel. And welcome the metal. So you were going to say something, DJ Ronnie G, when you first entered the chat, and I unfortunately...
No, not at all. You didn't unfortunately disrupt anything, but I thought it was just interesting. I made an interesting observation. So I'm doing this chroma key thing in Photoshop. So what I do is I, can use a mouse or the pen, since I bought this knockoff of a Wacom tablet. And then if I draw a line on it, now I can, of course, using the chroma key thing, I could, draw things like John Madden does. So if I wanted to point something, I could say, oh, this guy here, this guy here's got a big nose here. Look at that. Touchdown. Or something. I don't know. Whatever John Madden used to do.
Oh, yeah. Just like, the sports, announcers like John Madden.
And I got that idea from Punk Waddle. If you ever seen Punk Waddle on Floor from Under a Rock, he's like a penguin. He is a penguin. I mean, he's a penguin puppet. Or, obviously he's a man operating a penguin puppet. But anyway, he brought up this idea.
Show was penguin friendly?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
No penguins were harmed in the production of the show.
Oh, 100%. No, nobody in Florida would never harm a penguin, especially Punk Waddle. I mean, he's a friend, But he mentioned it. He was doing he started, his own channel, and he's like, I think on his 4th or 5th video now. It's been a few weeks now. And on the first video, he wanted to have a little animated arrow pointing at an ice cube because he has basically his motif is he's a penguin living in a igloo, and he's got a pet or a family member named Cubert, who's an ice cube. And so, he had a picture of a generic ice cube. Whoops, I can't draw my own. He had a generic ice cube, whatever. Whoops, I just hit the eraser button. Yeah, I'm getting used to this though here, but, playing around. I should definitely upgrade my Photoshop. I'm using Photoshop 7 right now because I'm too lazy to do the activation on the, the bootleg version of the new version. But anyway, I guess I could just buy it, and then I wouldn't need to bootleg it now.
So Anna says that she's not an Aussie, though. She lives in Australia.
Australia's
cool. Not an Aussie. That's why the accent. That's why she has an accent that doesn't sound like a traditional Australian accent. Well, there's actually several accents, but yeah. And simply, I'm having a hard time seeing your name on my screen. I've got a
Northern variety.
Yeah, you have a wrench now. You got a jacket. I guess some people call it wrenches, and then some people call it jackets, which I think jacket is just me. It's moderator. And welcome LCX. Always good to see you. I've got the link pinned to the StreamYard link. But as always, people are free to promote their channels, whether in the chat or on the stream. And the metal is still using Photoshop. Was it CS6?
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I started using DaVinci Resolve. I was using Adobe Premiere, And I was at the point where I was willing to pay the $600 to buy whatever the last version of that program was that didn't require the Creative Cloud licensing. And at that point, B&H Photo was out of stock on it. I wasn't going to pay $40 to some bootleg software website to buy it. So at that point, I said, you know what? It's about high time I learn. And I learned DaVinci's not radically different. And frankly, I was using such an old version of Adobe Premiere at that point that it was starting to cause me problems. For example, in OBS, you can record multiple audio tracks, and yet when you drag and drop the file into Adobe, you don't see those audio tracks. And so I had to go and use another program to, like, demux those tracks, they call it, separate the tracks and then bring them in manually. And I just like being able, I love that I can now just drag and drop the video with no extra effort, and boom, all the audio tracks are there.
Resolve?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay,
yeah,
because a buddy of mine,
and I'm using a free one.
In real life, it's actually, he hasn't been able to come over in a while, gas prices and stuff, but somebody, anyway, he recommends the DaVinci Resolve.
Oh yeah, I'm the free version.
Mr. Matt or
Mr. Matt.
Matt Rogers. He was in the chat earlier.
Oh,
I recommend it too.
I use CS4.
If I remember correctly, DaVinci Resolve was they were being a bit of dicks about their lifetime subscription thing models, and so some dude he had bought like four live subscription models, and holy cow! Dude,
I heard that. I thought that was a different company.
That's 200. If I remember correctly, that game was expensive when you bought it. The lifetimes were expensive, so he bought I think he bought about $400.
Oh wait, Filmora, wasn't it Filmora?
I think that was his name.
Yeah, Filmora. There was some controversy. I might be mixing up programs, but I do remember something along the lines of like some controversy and drama regarding their lifetime subscription and people getting screwed on the upgrades and stuff like that.
Yeah, basically.
I thought DaVinci Resolve was open source, but I could be wrong.
Well, what I do know about
see you, Bushido. I'm doing well. Hopefully you are as well. And, the Metal says that that he used CS4 for years and it's still solid.
And that's the thing. Like, at this point, I would go back to using CS4 or CS6. I don't necessarily need Creative Cloud, but at that point, it's like, yeah, I just need the latest Photoshop version that doesn't involve that BS. And frankly, Photoshop 7 works quite fine. So the only thing that I like about the CS versions of Photoshop was the, like when using the free transform tool. So, if we do Control T, let's say, and you're resizing this, let's say I go, oh wait, I want to zoom in on something right here. Okay, you got the navigator window up over here, this thing here. You can't zoom on it while you're in transform mode. You got to either lock in your changes or you got to, cancel the transform before you can zoom in or zoom out. So let's say I zoomed in by accident and I go in the middle of transform and say, oh crap, I need to zoom out before I can continue doing what I'm doing. And this is something you can do in CS3 and later. As far as I'm aware, you can use the zoom control while you're using the transform. It's a minor thing, but like I figure if that's like what I noticed, there's probably a ton of other features that you guys might notice if you were using it more as much, or I'm sure the guys in the chat might be better aware since they've been using it for a while. So yeah, I mean that alone makes me know I should definitely move up, but also that shows that Photoshop 7 is still pretty powerful. 120 megabyte download. Or, file, installation, media, whatever, and you're good to go. So yeah, I say also last thing I want to add is with DaVinci, they got two versions, the free version and the paid version. The paid one, I think it's supposedly lifetime, at least until a certain, maybe they got some caveat, which for $300, it's a great value. Where they make their money is on the hardware, the fancy editing panels, not just custom keyboards, but like their claim to fame is color grading. Yeah, color grading. Color grading utility.
So that is a paid program.
It's both free and paid. Basically, in the free version, you don't get certain, I think, visual effects options, but you can still do transitions. You can still use the titler. One of the reasons why I almost bought the paid version was they have a AI feature called the DaVinci Neural Engine, and basically they use machine learning models to train it to do various things. Video filtering, de-interlacing is a big one, and one that many people might find useful is, let's say you're filming something in the middle of a field, and it's like a nice natural background, but somebody left their backpack in the middle of the field, and it's ruining the aesthetic. You got this stupid backpack, big bright orange backpack, sitting in the middle of the pristine field. In DaVinci, you can pretty much just circle that in the paid version, and even though the video, it's one thing to edit out a static object in a still photograph. It's another thing to do it when the camera is panning and all of that. And so that's something where the DaVinci neural engine can. They got like 10 other things it can do, but the two I'm aware of is being able to edit out an object in a moving video and the neural engine. I mean,
that's really cool.
De-interlace. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So,
LCX tried Krita. Seems excellent for digital painting.
Ooh.
And LCX drew his cat using it.
Cool.
So that's pretty cool. You gotta
try that out.
You got a cool cat. Sorry, cool cats. Okay.
I don't know.
I guess that comes out kind of wrong because, like, calling someone you might call a guy a cool cat or whatever. That might actually be kind of. Maybe, I don't know if anybody actually says that anymore. But
I do. I totally say that. People look at me like I'm odd when I say it, but I totally still say that.
Yeah, that's like probably from my parents' generation, or even before then. But so it's, but I'm still so used to Photoshop that I stick to CS4, even though LCX has tried out Krita. So here's the thing with this whole subscription model. I've heard it's gotten so out of hand that I think with BMW, not in the United States, but I think some places in Europe, they're actually trying to get. You actually have to subscribe just to get every month, just to get your seat warmers to work in your freaking car.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. Was it Mercedes or BMW? I think Mercedes is doing this, and they even limit the speed.
One of the luxury car companies.
Yeah, it was on the EVs, and they were limiting the top speed of the car. It's like, for an extra $60 a month, you can go up to this speed.
And then I don't know. I hear this from Louis Rossman, I think his name is.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big advocate of right to repair laws. And but and a big advocate for people being able to like actually own their products instead of just licensing it forever from a company like John Deere. They actually lost. There was actually a law. I don't think they lost the case. I think there was a law passed, and I can't remember the state. So that farmers could actually fix their own tractors without having to haul, maybe you have to haul it on the back of a trailer to some dealership. It could be hundreds of miles away if they're at some farm off in the countryside.
Yeah, and farmers are skilled.
Like their corn or whatever, and in the middle of nowhere, and then you have to go and take their tractor in just because there's some computer software that they're not allowed to, that's proprietary.
Yeah, that's what makes automotive repair a bit of a nightmare these days, is the whole way they, manage the ECU, the engine control unit, and, the amount of sensors that will disrupt your ability to do anything. Like, you can't change certain parts sometimes without being able to interact with the computer in the car, which it should just be a matter of plug this thing in, it recognizes you plugged it in, or the cars will get picky. They'll be like, hey, this isn't the authorized component that we, sell officially.
What's
wrong?
Hey, D-Wig, how long have you been in the back? I didn't see you.
Oh, just a minute. No big deal. I'm out here, looking for a new place to live. My old dumpster got, So I'm trying to find a suitable one. And maybe, maybe there'll be some lot lizards or something here so I can buy some crack. Oh, there's some people over there. Yeah. So, I got to bring Crack Pack back, so you guys don't know, I run the Crack Pack. I have my own channel too. But
I think we need some sort of legal disclaimer. We're not talking about like
actual drugs. We're just making.
yeah, we're not talking about like.
I'm totally talking about smoking real crack. I'm smoking real crack right now. Let's go. But you guys are talking about Louis Rossman. No, I came out here. I came out on a nice little walk. I might come film or something. But I heard you guys were talking about Louis Rossman replacing tech and whatever. Like so I actually know a little bit about that. I actually use Filmora. I have that Filmora's video editor. I also have the whole Adobe CC thing. If you say that you're a student teacher or some shit like that, you can get the whole Adobe suite for like $200 a year. A little trick there.
Mm-hmm. Good idea.
But it sucks, you know, and it sucks. You shouldn't have to do that. But yeah, so I have Premiere, but doing the type of content that I do, like with the crack pack stuff, it's kind of on brand to be like janky, junky, or you know, I usually
can
like
you explain the crack pack to people, please, because I think maybe
okay. So the audience needs it. Okay, so what the crack pack is, I was doing a stream one day. Should I break kayfabe? Okay, I'm breaking kayfabe. I was doing a stream one time, and my buddy was like, "Oh, well, we don't have a topic to do on a stream." I've started like 3 or 4 different shows on YouTube that were really blowing up on other people's channels, and then what's happened is that, you know, they quit doing them and then took all the content down. So now I'm building up my own channel. But the crack pack started. A buddy of I found this Lord Finatra was playing this song by a guy named Viper, and the song's called "You'll Cowards Don't Smoke Crack," and it's a parody song where the guy's like peer pressuring, like it's a joke. He's like, "Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack," and so, you know, like the funny part of it's to be like, "Well, I don't want to be a coward. I don't want to be a coward, so of course I guess I gotta smoke crack. I guess I'll, yes, you know, give me a 10. What can I get for $10 here? Yeah, I guess I'll smoke some crack. I don't want to be a coward. When people think that." So, so we were going around. We were saying crack pack and doing all this funny shit, whatever. And then, you know, I was walking around doing, you know, back here in my dumpsters where I live, and a buddy of mine, he was going to cancel our stream because he didn't have anything to talk about. And I said, I was doing these storage auctions with my buddy who he needed help, so I'd come help him. And I found this fucking salt lamp, right? And so I have this like rechargeable battery pack. Letting you guys in on the, you know, the secret sauce here. I have this battery pack from my tools, and I can take this salt lamp with me, right? And so I'll post it up. I'll post the salt lamp or something like here in the dumpster, and then I'll be down here, and I'll like turn the light and I'll make it like talk, like when you cowards, you won't smoke crack. So that's legendary crack rock. And I did this. Basically, I drew this stupid ass map. I went to Dollar Tree, bought like a bunch of stupid shit, made this terrible map. Had this idea. I was like, well, I'll just do a fucking scavenger hunt on stream, right? Because my buddy Skip that I was doing the show with, basically what we did was like he was the straight man, and he would just like tolerate my nonsense. So basically I went on a scavenger hunt, and then it kind of blew up out of there. People were like, "Oh, I want to buy a crack map," you know, because I'm a crack pack backpack on, you know, and I had everything crack pack. And so long story short, I mean, I've already made it long, but there was a guy that was like trying to gay op us, whatever. And so
maybe that's another thing that people so they were trying to like run like an internet like they're how does one explain that? Because this is really kind of a bizarre thing that happens with, like,
well, I'm super positive. I've made the crack pack. The crack pack is about supporting whatever your crack is, whether you're passionate, you know, about it. Whether that's, you know, drawing, animation, toys, comics,
and
anything like that.
It's about sabotage what you guys were doing.
Sort of, yeah, basically. Long story short,
and like an internet op, you know, like
and they did something. And they got like these guys to do a anti-drug PSA on a stream, and so they did the whole like 1990s, you know, if you don't use the crack, you can't abuse it, right? And the thought process was that it was going to destroy us, like whatever. Which I was just having fun with it. I'm just trying to have fun, man. And like Like, you know what I mean? I was never taking it serious. I was going to get off of it. But what happened was they played that anti-crack PSA, and then everybody in the chat, like, realized the funny thing, because we were doing the comics thing. So, like, you know, to visualize, you know, like, there's like 45 crackheads gathering online to save independent comics, right? Like, how absurd. Because I got to have people messaging me, and they're like, I really had people messaging me, and they're like, G-Wagg, I can't tell if it's a joke or not. I had a fucking aluminum foil wrapped around a fucking toilet paper roll, and it was acting like that was my crack pipe, and it had a shop vac.
Wasn't it like a metaphor for, like, you know, like, for like the kind of just like supporting the comic book, you know?
Yeah.
You know, like this is my addiction or whatever.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it was a metaphor. Exactly. Right. And so, like, yeah, like some people were trying to take it like whatever and just like, it's like, come on, man. You really like you think there's this group of like crackheads, you know, joining the online, you know, force to say, you know, independent comics from the mainstream. So yeah, it just was silly. So just something silly. But no, like right now I'm just doing silly YouTube shorts and stuff. And I don't mean to take away from the guy that was already on here. I was listening to him jam. I was listening to you jam out, brother. You know,
it's all right. He's just doodling on his.
Okay, yeah. No, I got to figure out how you're doing this right here. So, like, what program are you using to do this?
I'm using John Madden Graphics 2.0. Now, jokes aside, I'm using Photoshop with a green background. Okay. And the only issue that I'm having is that, so basically you got your layers panel, right? And, you know, so I have the green background layer. And the only issue is that because my screen is now shining green on me, you'll notice that my chroma key is a little sketchy. So now if I minimize Photoshop, you'll see that the pattern on my shirt immediately cleans up. See, like now it looks pretty good. So that's something I'm going to have to address somehow. But right now, it's like only an issue when I'm actually drawing. If I'm not drawing, or if I put the program on my top monitor, it probably wouldn't be an issue. So yeah, that's all it is. Oh, Photoshop and OBS. I should add that. Obviously, you need OBS to do the other half. And in OBS, what you would do is, for my, where is it? This one here, I have a, down here, I have a Photoshop. Basically, I told it to capture the Photoshop window. And then I cropped it. And then after I cropped it, I basically right-clicked on it, went to properties or filters. Yeah, filters. And I added the chroma key, and I told it, you know, key into the color green. And it works exceptionally well since, you know, Photoshop can produce a pure green. And, you know, it's all working, yeah.
Welcome back, Chad. Oh, and by the way, the medal says Olive is okay. Open source is an okay open source alternative non-linear video editor, but it has about the same learning curve GIMP as for image. Oh yeah, GIMP is like I've tried using that. I mean, yeah, you can barely draw a stick figure, but I've used
me too.
I've used like some graphics programs before, but GIMP's definitely the most difficult one that I've ever tried.
And I mean, some people say it's not that hard, and I'm sure, like you know, just like, you know, I do basic operations in Photoshop, right? Like take an image or a set of images, adjust them, resave them, save for web, and I'll get like stuck in the middle of like one of those steps basically every time I turn to GIMP, and that's basically my. And I haven't really tried that hard, but I feel like Photoshop, I was able to take it up pretty quickly in comparison.
Oh, hey, Alkin Slice, what?
But we still need free programs, so I think it's good. I will try out Olive, if only as a matter of principle.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Nice avatar, Alkin Slice. I like that fox or dog you got.
Yeah, he's got a really cool gaming channel. I encourage people to check out his channel. It's kind of underrated because, you know, we really. I'd like to get more viewers in there because he does a really fun job. Guess I'm repeating myself. Earlier, Cross Comic, Rick from Cross Comics, said that Nerd Wonder has a book out. That's the comic book out, but not sure where his message is. Where he said that it was scrolling up, and I can't. Oh no, I can't find it. Oh, here we go. Now I found it. There's like two messages above. Yeah, check out her comic book. She's been around for a long time in the indie comic scene. So D-Wag,
What's up, baby?
yeah, how you doing?
Oh, I just wanted to come on here, man. You've always been a good supporter of me, and and whatever. And I really haven't probably reciprocated enough or equivalent. So I figured I'd come on here, holler at you. It's a nice little night. What I'm doing is have you seen my new videos? So, my shorts I've been putting out.
So have you been streaming much, or are you making like edited videos?
So right now, independent comics, which is what I was doing, but I was trying. See, like the problem is with the independent comic scene right now, is that everybody is doing the same type of show, and they're all boring. And what they're doing is basically, in my opinion, is you're basically watching the QVC channel, okay? So you watch an hour-long stream or a 3-hour-long stream that's all like, they're promoting to you. And there's only so much you can do with that. So what I try to do is I try to take the entertainment television aspect of it, of like, okay, well, what I'm going to do is we're going to have like a 70s variety show with just stupid stuff. We had animation on our streams. Skits, parody stuff.
That's something that I wanted to do with this channel. It never quite worked out where. But I do call it the Sleestakians variety show. I mean, I wanted to have like puppets on here and all sorts of stuff.
All sorts of stuff. Yeah, he was telling me the stuff off stream. I'm like, dude, where do you think we're gonna find all these people, man?
Well, we had
a very successful show.
We had a variety of success with that, but it's like, dude, I don't think it's like there's not enough
people I was hanging out with. We're into like puppetry and but I never really.
Yeah, we had puppets, we had animation, we had the Crack Pack Gang, which was an Aqua Teen, like it was on purpose, an Aqua Teen Hunger Force ripoff. We had a crack pipe, a lighter, and a crack rock, right? So,
once again, these are props.
Yeah, so dude, it was so hard though to do that. I was herding cats every day. I was like, no offense, I had to fucking tard wrangle fucking so many people every fucking day because everybody wants to fight with each other. Because online, no one gives anybody the benefit of the doubt. Like, oh, maybe he's not talking shit about me.
That's a big problem.
Yeah,
it's like, no, he said this. He has to be the worst possible thing that could be to offend me. It's not gonna. And I'm just playing, just getting animated. But like, yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, what are you guys doing? So
where is D-Wag going? Ask Gap after dark.
I'm just going on a stroll, whatever. Oh shit, fucking train. Always got to mess up my streams. Come on, man. But no,
we tore all our train tracks here and turned it into a recreational trail.
Yeah. If that's loud, let me know and I can mute.
It's a really nice trail. It's just be kind of nice if we had trains, but. This is being used for something now.
Yeah, right now, Zoe, what I've been doing was I've totally backpedaled off the streaming thing because I built these other shows up, right? You probably heard of the chat, Zoe. I don't know how everybody's familiarity with independent comics. I doubt it's much, but I started the show with the chat. I had this other show called the Skip and Swag Show. And then I had the show on this guy named Good Stuff Comics Creators channel. And that's where we had the variety show. And we had like 20 weeks of really awesome entertainment stuff. And just, there was some button of heads.
And this is good stuff.
Yeah. So that's where we had the variety show and stuff like that. And
it's
it was
pretty bad that's not still going on. But you said it lasted 20 weeks, which is.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of stuff lasts these days.
Yeah, so. We're getting up to like the lowest. So on my channel personally, I've only done like 10 streams or something. I had Kenneth Rocafort on there, who's an illustrator for Marvel Comics and shit like that, or in DC Comics. He's doing Groken on Indiegogo, which hit like 200K or something like that. You know what I mean? So like, he did the closeout stream on my channel, but the lowest, like I usually get 30 to 40 people in my streams. and I'm a nobody. Like I'm a loser. Like in right now anyway. You know what I mean? Like I may, messed up, got kicked out of school, engineering, all that stuff. So right now I'm a loser. I'm nobody. And I was getting 30, 40, 50 people in all of my streams, but there's just no content in independent comics because the people aren't generating the comics at a high enough rate to promote. And I personally refuse to promote something that I don't believe in or somebody that's not promoting me. So like, it's really nothing. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just building my own channel, focusing on me, trying to get my own subscribers up. And right now what I'm doing is just using shorts. So like, if you haven't seen what I've been doing is I come over here and I'll film, and I have like I'm just reusing people's content right now and putting my own little spin on top of it. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to grow a base. I just hit 500 subscribers. So I was getting 50, 60 people with only 400 subs. So, but I'll come over here in these dumpsters and I'll pop out and be like, modern day education is straight trash. And if you don't believe me, check out this video. And I'll go to like some Gen Z interview where they're like, what's the square root of 9? And they'll be like, 27? It's like, come on, man. Or like, they'll be like, name 2 countries in the North America. And the people will be like, Europe, Africa, so I'll play that.
No. The funny thing is I actually I've done substitute teaching a long time ago. And it didn't occur to me whether like the education was going down the tube. Because one of my friends are really acquaintance. His brother came to one of our game meets I used to go to, and he was kind of so like he was graduating, like, hey man, what was it? And he's like, and so I kind of learned from there that education is going down the shitter. I was like, the hell, you should have known this stuff in 5th grade. Why are you just learning this now?
Absolutely. And so like I was a gym teacher for 10 years at a Boys and Girls Club. So like so I worked with like impoverished youth and or at-risk kids and shit and mentored and stuff like that. But like to be honest, I think the problem is that they're allowing these kids to have their phones and tablets in the class and they're not paying attention. And then like like even me, like I've tested in the 99th percentile in the nation in math. What up, Shep, baby? What up, boy? Shep knows what it is. Shep knows what D-Wag brings to the table. Bring that hype, bring that energy. You know what we do. But it tested in the 99th percentile.
Well, you don't have to, Shep, but you can.
Hop on, Shep. But yeah, man. Right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build up my own following to where I actually have some sort of clout. Because right now, like if I tell somebody, hey, I have 500 subs, that doesn't mean anything to them. It doesn't ring like no, because what I'm trying to do is develop a community, sort of like the independent comic scene, but I want to do it around so we can have more dynamics to it around just creativity. Right.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been wanting to do. It kind of today is, and this is something an idea kicked out around before, is kind of like show and tell for adults with what I'm doing. It's like
that's exactly
that's just about comics. It's not just about like kind of nerdy stuff like sci-fi, fantasy, and role-playing game, or what can be about that. But I've also had musicians on. I've had I
mean, typically we're all nerds, anyways. So
I love
but it doesn't just exclusively have to be about that. Because it's about creativity in general, and not just people creating their own stuff instead of just like I don't want to say spoon-fed because I do watch Hulu sometimes and some of these streaming services, but I mainly watch YouTube nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. And see, you just gave me the perfect term for what I've been trying to do. It's show and tell for adults. That's so great, Zoe. I'm going to use that, and I promise you, I'm going to make that shit pop. If you guys don't know, I've made a lot of shit pop, and most of you guys probably don't know me. But my biggest skill is making like stupid catchphrases that people say or bow, stuff like that. So, yeah, because the problem is with comics, just
DJ,
like with
can I test equipment on my stream?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say the problem with independent comics and just focusing on that is that most of these people are putting out their first comic, or it's a new comic. Like they put out like, Dragon Slayer, and now they're putting like that. So they funded that comic, but now they're putting out, Mummy book or whatever. So the problem is you're asking people to be invested in a story that they haven't read for 6 months at usually the earliest before they're going to get it, to like over a year or two, 2 years. And that it's just so hard if all you're doing is focusing on that book and you're just talking about the same book to the same people over and over and over again. And that's why what I wanted to try to do, or what I was thinking in my head is what we do is we actually try to entertain the audience with skits and the stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you bring in an audience that like you're actually entertaining, and then you have commercials. And see, what we did was we did like silly commercials that were like parodies of like dude, like I just like doing like the old, like, because I'm a 90s baby, or I was born in 88, so I grew up in the 90s. But like like you had what was the detective dog? The detective dog, where he would say like, I'll take a bite out of crime,
Oh, McGruff the crime dog?
Yeah, McGruff the crime dog. I don't.
Yeah.
So like, if you guys don't know, the guy that played McGruff and dressed up in the costume got arrested for smoking cocaine and had a bazooka in his trunk. So what we were gonna do, see, we have this character. His name's Danny. Danny's a hater. He's a little puppet. And he's like anti-drug, so he was anti-crack pack.
That's where Danny came from. I
yeah.
saw him on that.
Well, the problem is
Natra's channel. Like maybe you've seen him in the chat or something.
No, my buddy sent me a video one day. He goes, "This is the most annoying thing ever," right? And he sent me this video of Danny, and Danny's like, "Hey there, why would anybody want to smoke drugs? That's just silly, right?" And so we're doing the crack pack thing, and so we made Danny the fun police, right? So Danny, whenever you see Danny in the chat, he's just anti-fun, anti-anything, and everything. So, but yeah, man, we're just trying to have fun, and trying to encourage people to be positive, because as soon as you start getting to any slight discourse on the internet, it turns into, no, you're stupid, you fucking retard. Am I allowed to cuss?
That's what happens. People have like, somebody, I ended up getting in a feud with a certain comic book creator, and
I think I've seen
made a stream about me, and it was like, I guess they thought they could make fun, like that, like it would somehow crush my ego if they made fun of my cartoonish voice when I'm a cartoon character. I don't know. It's just so silly. He's a fun place. Hey, Eric, welcome. Don't be anti.
What up?
He says. Eric and Boyd's in the chat. Good to see you.
What up, Eric? Oh, dude. Oh man, that was awesome. We got Eric to 100 subs one time. He was like at like 90 or 80 subs or something. Man, we
another underrated channel. Feel free.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah. But
Eric.
The thing I tell people is feel free to like show your stuff. Just don't make it feel like an hour-long infomercial.
Right.
Ron Papil could get away with that back in the day. I don't know if it was an hour, but it was like maybe a half hour of some. But there was a lot of showmanship involved too. It wasn't just like him like rambling on about. I mean, it was like. Do you remember that, or have you ever seen any clips of this Ron Papil guy?
No, not me personally.
Yeah, because they might not have been airing them when, you probably would have been a little kid if they were still airing.
I'm 35, so I don't know.
Yes, D-Wagg and Finatra got me over 100 subs.
Oh, dude, like that. To be honest, yeah,
appreciate that very much. And
dude,
welcome.
Yeah, it was so awesome, man. Like Eric was so appreciative, man. Just made his day, and really sweet guy, man. Really, I mean, he's a good artist too. So, just whatever. But yeah, like one thing I tried to do with the crack pack, especially once I realized there was gay ops afoot, I was like,
can you
okay,
explain that to people because they
don't know. Okay,
have no clue what you're talking about. It just sounds
okay. So, a gay op is. Oh no! So what a gay op is it's GHEY, op, and basically all it means is that people conspire to like either gatekeep somebody or spread rumors about somebody or try to stop something that they don't like, or just basically just kind of like colluding in secrecy, right? Or just like acting like you're somebody's friend, right, to get information out of them to use or whatever. But basically I had somebody that was like an old friend of mine who didn't think that the crack pack was family friendly, which I understand. I get. So I doubled down on the positivity thing, and it was partly a strategy too, because I realized the only way, because working with people online is like herding cats. So the only way to do it is to constantly be positive, man. Because as soon as you start allowing some type of grievance or some kind of frustration online, then what happens is it just boils, because then you start fracturing your audience. Right, because me and so don't get along, so F that guy, and then all his friends or the people that like him, because being online isn't about being correct; it's about who's more popular usually.
Well,
right?
That sort of happen, and that happens with comic books. I'd be told, "Oh, go out and back this book," and then all of a sudden, if you back this, I'd go out and back a book. Spend probably thousands of dollars on comic books, but the problem is then some creator would have a falling out with another creator. Well, this guy's anti-CG, or this person's CG, and like these different factions would like form, and the people and then it'll be like, okay, so I got this comic book, but I was told, oh, this is going to be worth a lot of money, but now that I have it, it's not cool to have it anymore, and it's like, shouldn't it be about? I can totally understand somebody doesn't like creator behavior, you don't want to continue supporting that creator, then I can totally understand somebody saying, I don't want to back this creator anymore for whatever reason. I believe in free speech and consumer advocacy, but what I don't like is when that guy over there says, you can't back that guy because I don't like, and I've even done that before in the past.
Yeah.
I'm being a dick. I shouldn't do that. That's wrong.
That's why I have to put my D-Wag character that I play was always like positive. Like, to be honest, I'm the best. I'm so good at roasting people, but that doesn't get me anywhere. It doesn't get me anywhere in this space trying to grow, because I can't make fun. Like, it's not going to get me anywhere. Like, so I just had to totally abandon that.
Back in high school, so Shep.
Yeah. So, like I constantly have to encourage people, like, and just say, hey, man, look the other way. And also, like, the other thing too, like you were mentioning too, so the best way to avoid like breaking down on the internet or worrying about what people say, the D-Wag crackhead character is semi-strategically a shield, because now when people are making fun or having fun, I just say they're just, making fun of D-Wag the character. They're not really talking shit about me. And what happens is too, when you're a good sport about, I remember the first time I was ever on a stream, and I remember the comment that was the first negative comment I ever got. And somebody was like,
check out Eric's link, please, folks. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, they said, here's this fucking piece of trash guy or something like that. You know what I mean? And I played into it. And what happened was now that person that was talking like about shit about me basically became like, they were like, oh, he's a good sport. So they ended up having fun with it. And then like they actually like ended up liking me, because they're like, oh, he's just having fun. and and he's a good sport and he can take it, right? Because like that's where people get harassed online, is when you get upset. You're feeding the trolls. Do not feed the trolls. So
well, that's the thing. It's so it was so I didn't like it when people went around and did Photoshop pictures of my friends and put dildos on them. But I didn't mind when they did that to a lizard guy.
That's funny.
I mean, it's like, here they are ranting and raving about a lizard. It's like, okay, well, that's kind of silly, one time I was like, so
it was funny,
took a photo of a Sleestak and they put it in with I think it was Doug TenNapel and Mike S. Miller. And it's like, okay, whatever you think of those guys, they're two very well known
I don't think
a comic book guy. TenNapel, I mean, was known for the Earthworm Jim video game and for Nickelodeon shows. So no matter what people think of him as a person or his political beliefs or whatever, it was I think it was pretty funny that they'd go and, well, here's Lorenzo, and here he's I'm trying to remember. I think it was those guys that I was, and then well, it wasn't me. It was just some stock photo of a Sleestak. But it was so funny though that, okay, if this is an insult, just because they put a dildo on, a cartoon dildo on my character's head, well, that's.
Yeah,
okay, that was really
not that I'm a character. Well, I am a character, but I am a real lizard.
yeah, absolutely. You really
that's
are.
Obvious.
I've seen his blood results, his test results, and he is in fact cold-blooded. It's factual, totally real. And I'm really a crackhead. I really smoke crack. So to just knock that out and point out that whatever the cherry whatever on top of that is just kind of see what I would do personally in that situation if somebody put a dildo on me.
TJ, what are you working on?
I am working on building an antenna for my starship. So this is the flagship Hyperion from Legend of the Galactic Heroes. It's a very good Japanese anime series. Basically, it's like Gundam, except that you have very large fleet engagements, and it's like Gundam without the mobile suits, without the mecha, and the ships also have interstellar, travel capability, which of course they do not have in Gundam. So the flagship Hyperion, of course, to 3D print it, I had to print it in 2 halves. This is the slightly larger version, obviously. And so you print it out on a PLA 3D print. You're gonna have some of these lines on there, right? You gotta sand it down a little bit and then paint it. So I prime it, I paint it. I had to mix blue, green, and white acrylic enamel paint together to get this particular shade. I still got to do these details here, but right now what I was working on in particular was I was taking these brass rods, which I bought them in a longer length, so I got them in a variety pack right here. But I also have them in that size.
Covering the Wacom tablet?
Say again?
Do you have something covering your Wacom tablet?
I might.
Because if you get something on it, it's going to make it harder for it to track your when you do draw on it.
Oh, you mean like the glove or something like that?
No, something protective if you're working on in that area.
Oh, yeah, I got you now.
Something like a smudge of glue somehow manages to make its way to the.
I've had the tablet for about 2 weeks, and every time I work on this, what I'll do is I'll have to move it up a little bit, but I've thought about either getting a cover, but mainly I don't do any sanding or anything on top of this workspace. All of the workspace, anything that's messy, will happen over, back here, basically. So I'm isolating the messy stuff from here, but it's true. I had to be cognizant of that because, I'd hate to scratch it. I don't want to get, any grit on it. I used to own pocket PCs and, handheld PDAs back when they were, new. And it used to drive me crap insane when I'd, be riding with the stylus and I hear, Yeah, and I feel a little grit on there right now. You're right. No, I'm glad you gave me that reminder because I do have to remember to clean this before I really utilize it. And, I got to... Do you guys use a cover or do you use a cover?
I don't use a cover mainly because I don't do stuff like that on it. Because if I do something that requires gluing, sanding, what have you, I usually do it on another table. Or
I literally do it right
I
here.
am
Not here.
as far away from it as I possibly can. mainly because the thing cost me $300, and I just don't have money to.
I bought the knockoff. But
so
yeah,
I didn't want to I didn't want to interrupt you, D-Wag. But
yeah, I'm sorry, D-Wag.
Oh no, DJ. No, let's get back to DJ because DJ. So one of the guys that I did the variety show with, his name's Steve, right? He's one of my good buddies, and he actually 3D prints, and we printed a lot of like props for our shows and shit. Like we have 3D printed crack rocks that glow in the dark.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So we had those.
I'm trying to figure out here's the
Steve. Yeah, Steve got reported on Twitter because he called somebody a retard, and the guy reported him.
Yeah,
so he got his
word not to use on there.
Yeah. He got
that void on Twitter.
He got banned, right? But see, what happened was like him and the guy was our friend, and he goes in the DM and starts arguing with him, right? And he goes, "Dude, what the fuck is your problem? Like you're acting like a woman," and so the guy reported him, and they got he said, "You're acting like a woman. Just tell me what's wrong. We're trying to figure out what." And so the guy reported him for misgendering. So anyways, he got his Twitter deleted, right? So we printed a coffin. We 3D printed a coffin and buried his Twitter. Actually, like right over here. This is Crack Mountain. That was on the
how big is that coffin? It was a coffin or a tombstone?
It was a coffin, and what he did was we printed out or we took a piece of paper, wrote his Twitter handle on it, put it inside of the coffin, and then buried it, and then we had a funeral right over here.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no. So like, what kind of 3D printer do you use, brother?
I'm using the ever popular Ender 3 Creality, brand name Creality, Ender 3 version 2. I'm using a Raspberry Pi. I recently hooked up a Raspberry Pi up to it. I was using it for the longest time where I would have to jockey the SD cards between my computer and the printer. Now I'm able to send print jobs directly to it. So if I open up this application called Octoprint here, I can, interact with the printer. I can actually start a print with, just set up my temperature, run the leveling so that I can make sure the bed is level. That's like the main reason I almost didn't buy a 3D printer. My friend talked me into this because he was like, "Oh man, you only gotta level it when you move it around," which really you gotta level it every time it cools down. But basically he convinced me because I like starships, and I was like, okay, I could print starships, sold, fine, I'll get one. Yeah. And so anyway, I put a lot of modification work into it. At this point, I have a webcam mounted to the actual side of the, Z-axis, so I can watch the nozzle as it's moving around. I think we could probably move it around right now. Yeah, we could do that, and it's kind of fun, but bottom line, it's been gradual. I just gradually upgraded it, adding upgrades as I find what becomes inconvenient to me. And what I was doing at the time I was scraping this was I was sharpening these brass rods so that they would be easier to insert, because the general plan is for every ship I build of this type, there's a number of antennas that are bent up right now, but they basically look something like that. They flare out like this little V shape, and there's some more antennae up here. I actually left one antenna on the other model. Yeah, here we got like one missing bit and one that's here. So I left this one here as a reference piece, but basically I'm going to use one of the thicker brass rods. You heat it up on the stove or use a lighter or a torch. And then once it's heated up, the PLA will happily let it go through, no problem. It'll get soft right away. So that's basically how I got these in there. This is like my first one. I'm going to print one this size. I'm going to do one size larger. To print it any larger than this on the Ender 3, however, you got, like a 25 centimeter or 23.5 centimeter limit, I think, on the vertical. So I'm going to have to slice this in half somehow. And so there are a couple of ways to do it. I'm not going to go into the weeds on that, but that's basically my rough sketch. This needs one more coat of paint to go forward. But it's been a learning experience. I've had to print, I think, for about 2.5, 3 years, maybe. I lost track of time. But so what type of printer do you use? Or your friend?
So my friend, he actually has like 8 printers, and he has the he has the kind that are like you don't have to level them. They actually auto level, and they're like in an enclosed space. I can't remember the name of them. He's got the name brand version, and then there's a monoprice brand.
Yeah, they got a few. Prusa is a popular one. There's a few premium brand printers, and like that's the thing with this one, I could add an auto leveling sensor, so I did, and basically it's still good to dial in your manual leveling, but once your manual leveling is in the ballpark, the auto leveling will work quite well.
So what we did for the crack pack, Lorenzo might know this, but my buddy Matthew Fowler has a book called Tiger Blue. And for Tiger Blue in the comic book scene, we came out with a video game, an action figure, the comic, an animation, and all this stuff for the crack pack. And then the toy is actually a carded figure. And the figure comes with 3 mini glow-in-the-dark crack rocks as the accessory. Now, they're in the old Kenner toy style. Like, see, I'm a big normie. Okay. Yeah, I'm like a big normie. So, like, I'm trying to, I'm just trying to keep up with you guys and stuff, So I'm not trying to steal any cred there. But, yeah, like, my buddy Steve, he goes by Steve, that Star Wars boy, on YouTube right now. And his channel is kind of blowing up. We're doing shorts right now, and he's really killing it right now on the Star Wars shorts. But yeah, man, he has like 8 printers, and we printed out. We actually printed, fulfilled, and delivered a toy, a carded toy in the old Star Wars Kenner style,
cool.
With the animation.
Oh, in the packaging.
Yeah. So
like in the packaging with the plastic, that you cover and all that, the cardboard. Do you know if he's using like one of those resin printers instead of the FDM? I'm using the one that's FDM, meaning it deposits filament layer by layer, sort of like this. The other type is the one where you have like the resin, almost like fiberglass resin, where you pour the goo into it. Is he using one of those by any chance?
Okay, he has a resin printer, but he did not use it for the action figures. We decided we used the PLA. He used the PLA for the figure. Cool. I'll tell you guys what. I'm walking back to the dump cave, and so when I get to the dump cave, I'll show you the figure, and then I'm gonna jump off here. Cool. It's getting hot, and I'm starting to sweat. But yeah, I'll show you the carded figure and stuff, and just show you something we done. We had I'm kind of connected. Like right now. So right now I'm a loser. But I know a lot of people that have had success and stuff, so I'm just trying to merge everybody and get people to work together. And yeah, Zoe, I am going to steal that because that's exactly the show and tell, right? Whether it's video games and I want to, but I need a big enough audience to spread around to start trying to bring people together. Because right now I only have.
So yeah.
Like, Zoe, can you pull up my YouTube channel? I can't do it on my phone, but if not, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. I was going to show you just what I've been doing.
I'm going to
Wagg. I could probably look that up.
Twitter, because I think that's
it's Darren Wagner here.
A couple of Darren Wagners that I know.
Here. There's another.
And then another guy in chat. His spelling's a little different. So on Twitter, you're I can look in Dario's.
Yeah. So that's me. So if you go to my shorts, you can see I've had. I'm just trying to. Basically, what my strategy right now is like, because I keep getting people that are like, you're just reusing other people's content and you're really not creating anything. No one cares who I am, and I'm just being animated. But no one cares who I am yet, right? Like when they see me, they don't know who I am. They want to see Jake Paul, Ariana Grande, or The Rock. Like they don't care who I am unless I hop up. So a lot of the content that I've been just kind of promoting, or whatever. If DJ's got me up or they're whatever. Or he's got my channel up. You want to embiggen him, but yeah, basically I'm just trying to do these. Dude, these are super easy shorts to do. I'm just slapping them together really quick. They're low effort because right now the shorts are getting promoted. But yeah, I just hit 2,000 views on the one that says trying to beak me up. If you click on that cat with the duck.
Cat with a duck. Cat. Oh yeah.
Left, right there. Yeah, this is my highest viewed one so far.
I may have to rerun my Ethernet wire to my room because for some reason my internet speed's good, my pings are good, I can stream just fine, but web pages are being a little sketchy with the loading. Oh, that's cute.
Like that. So here I've got your stream highlighted and it's in the YouTube chat. Apologies.
Thank you guys.
Using Facebook because.
I can't upload shorts. I don't know why. I did one short like a year ago, and then like in the summer, and then like after that, a week later, I just haven't been able to upload shorts ever since.
Yeah.
I got to do a support request, but Anyway, I wish I could upload shorts. I would be doing them. They seem pretty straightforward. You know, you get your name out there. So yeah, you know, I don't know. I don't know if anyone else had that trouble, but that's me. Like, I don't have any ad. You can only do shorts from a phone usually, right?
So my buddy Steve uses the computer, okay? Because Steve's 50. He's a little bit of a boomer, but you know, he knows enough. But he's saying he can only upload in 30 seconds. See, so this video that you were playing right there. You don't have to put it back up. I just tell you, like, what I'm trying to do is that was a viral clip of this girl at Walmart, and she thought that she said it was loin chops, and she thought it said lion chops. So she was like, "They're serving lion in Walmart."
Yeah, I see that one. That's hilarious.
So,
that would have been.
She's like, "Oh, they're serving. We got to get out of America, you guys. They're serving lion at Walmart."
Oh my God, there's lion chops.
Yeah. So
I mean, that would be something different to taste, but I don't think.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're actively doing it.
Right.
Why is it not okay to eat a lion, but it's okay to eat beef? You know, it's like, I mean, I get it, endangered species and all that crap, but like, I don't know. I think it's funny how, you know, we draw the line.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure because they're predator animals. I'm not sure if that's the healthiest thing to eat or not.
Wait, why? Because they eat.
Do people actually eat lions, or do they just like hunt them for their heads or whatever? To put on
those people, what they do, they usually go to a preserve when they hunt the lions, unless they're poachers. And those actually, like, they charge them a lot of money to do that. And what they actually do is they use that money. They use that money to put it back into the preserve, and so they can kind of keep the population. Now, is that my thing that I'm entertaining? No, but I don't care if people do it. But
usually
if it's done in a responsible manner, yeah.
But usually the lion or the lioness that they're hunting is an old one. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
You're talking,
cool.
You're talking near the end of life type deal. So the hunter is hunting the old lion to So that lion has been around for too long.
Yeah. So they're probably in pain and shit anyway, because
they're
big cats.
They're in pain. They're this, they're that, and poof. You know, they can't have any more kids or what have you, and so it's like, okay, man. Well, you can.
I thought maybe sometimes it was like it's like a lion that's killing off all these other lions or something, and it's like,
not
okay,
true.
I got a ape shed on the other lions, and got to do something about this.
Cool. But yeah, can you put DJ's channel link in the chat? And when I get home and jump off here, I'm going to go subscribe to him and whoever else.
I think, DJ, could you please post that?
Yeah, sure thing. You got it.
And so I got a lot of tech toys too, DJ. So I actually use the iPad Pro 12.9 M1. I was actually doing a book. It was called Time Crawler, but the problem is the indie comic book space is it was kind of like anime-ish kind of hybrid, and it was about a little cyborg boy that can slow down time.
Did you say cyborg boy? Like cybernetic hybrid?
I said anime comic hybrid, but he was a cybernetic boy.
Oh, okay,
cybernetic boy. I got the idea from kind of like Dead Space. It's a video game, and they don't have there's no HUD or heads-up display on the game. And how you find out, because I was originally making a video game with Unreal Engine 4 when I was in the Purdue Engineering School. And so what I was doing, I was trying to make
actually mentioned you went to Purdue.
I really need to get back into ZBrush. Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, dude, ZBrush is so good. I was using Mudbox.
Wait a second. Did you just mention like a prestigious school and then just?
Oh yeah, I was also I was at IU for also as well for pharmacology, but I'm an idiot though, but I'm really smart. I'm a genius, but I'm like really stupid. So like I'm really good at being dumb.
So you're
if that makes sense.
So you're smart but close to stupid.
Yeah, like I'm so smart that I actually am stupid because I overthink things so much to like the degree. And I basically find clever ways to self-sabotage. So I hopefully, now that I'm 35 and I'm realizing this, hopefully I can start utilizing it to my advantage. But right now I haven't utilized it, but so that's where I'm at. But yeah,
You're
Yeah, I
probably
have
the youngest person on this on this panel right now.
the
So I
oldest.
can't find DJ Ronnie G. Aren't you?
Oh, I put the link.
Aren't I finding you on Twitter too?
Oh yeah.
I can't find your account on there. I typed in.
I think I'm
DJ
on.
Ronnie G.
I send you Twitter messages too.
Yeah,
So if you go to your
I find you,
message box, but I'll get you the link. Yeah. I think it's like there's multiple DJ Ronnie G's, and mine says
Yeah, there
not
are,
a DJ.
but I'm not finding you. I'm finding these.
I'm the one who comes up in the search as not an actual DJ. See, not
Yeah,
an actual
not an
DJ. So I do like if I type in at it comes up.
There
At
we
least
go,
for me, it
not
comes
an
up at the
actual
beginning.
DJ.
But
Here we
I'll
go,
get the
fine.
link here. I barely use it. If I do use it, I use it to share links basically. And I should probably use it a little more now that it's not as toxic as it used to be. Although, I mean, even now, political discussion can turn toxic. But I generally don't use that,
Well, generally,
Not
we try not to talk
Liger
about
meat?
politics just because
What's
it
a
turns
liger?
into
It's
fight
pretty
and
much
nobody
my
wins.
favorite animal. It's a lion in the tiger mix, bred for its skills and magic. Oh, it's
I love Napoleon Dynamite. Napoleon. I'm good. I'm good with nunchucks and a bow staff. All right.
I guess the question was,
is he walking in a circle?
am
I walking in a circle?
Yeah. That's what I do. Just like spell it out. Okay. So
you need to go. You need to go join WWE. You'll be great in the ring.
Oh, what's
you
this?
Can walk around.
Oh yeah. Tiger Blue, the video game. The video game's digital, so this is just kind of like a replica case.
Well, that's cool.
Then you got the Game Boy. You got the Game Boy Tiger Blue. Okay, here's the action figure. I gotta pull that. So
what platform is the game for? Is it Windows or is it?
It's Windows. It's Windows only. Whatever. But yeah. So let me see here. Here's some of our crack rocks. These are the mini ones. They glow. 3D printed crack.
Once again, this is not an actual literal.
I tried to make it because DJ or DJ Ronnie might know like when 3D printers came out, they'd be like, you can print anything. So I tried to mix the joke. I tried to mix the joke and try to make it obvious, like where it's a parody of it's we smoke crack, we 3D print it, right? Like because you obviously can't make crack 3D printed. But I get this action figure out here.
That's not how it's made.
Yeah, you can print zappers, and the thing is, if you print a zapper on a 3D printer, you get one use out of it. The material of the 3D printer, as it turns out, when you use gunpowder or propellant, it doesn't. The weapon or device does not last very long after a couple of shots.
Mm-hmm. So here's our Tiger Blue action figure.
The action figure.
Wow, that's a nice packaging.
So this is exactly the sort of thing.
And it's got the little crack.
This is the exact sort of thing, the show and tell for adults that I've been wanting. This is what I want the show to be.
That was epic.
It's stuff like this. It's not about me seeking clout or trying to impress this comic book creator or what. To be honest, I don't. I probably know the least about comics of anybody on this panel.
No, me. Oh yeah, I'm pretty normie, but
yeah, and so
I know my comics. I know my comics to an extent.
Wow, that is cool.
Mainly because the biggest thing is I really have. I don't think I've really read anything 70s and back. So everything I've read is everything 80s and above. Anything before the 80s, I won't know. I really won't know.
Well, that's still better than what I've read. I love comic book art. I like hearing people talk about the stories, so it gets kind of confusing. But I am severely dyslexic, and I am very limited on the amount of comic books I've read. I own a ton of comics, but I'm a slow reader, and I haven't gotten around to reading a lot of the comics that I do own. Because I've backed 100 campaigns. I sure as heck haven't read 100 comic books.
You see, these comics.
I love audiobooks.
Yeah, I do as well. Actually, and that's another thing. I have more audiobooks than I've listened to. have more video games that I've played, you know. But it's cool to have that option of.
And you can buy both. You can buy a Kindle book, and a lot of times they'll give you a discount on the audiobook if you buy them together.
Yeah.
So you can synchronize them so that when you go into the Kindle app and you go back to the audiobook Audible app, it'll resume where you left off and vice versa. But you can also,
you can also get credits too, right?
Yes, exactly.
For
So
Audible,
basically what it comes down to is
each month, right?
Yeah, you got to do the math on it, because basically it's like, if let's say it's $22 a month to get 2 credits a month, and there's a $40 book that costs 1 credit, then you get you pay 1 credit. But if you see the book is going for $3, like one of these, there was like a
I wouldn't waste a credit on that.
like 3 hours and 51 minutes. This one, I don't recall if it was worth the credit, but things like that, you just got to be on the lookout so you don't accidentally misspend. That got complicated because Apple started imposing an extra tax on, the app companies, or on, Amazon, for example. So if you were to buy a book through the Kindle app, they would actually charge an extra percentage on top of the cost. So when you go to buy a book through the Kindle app, they'll tell you go to the Amazon app to buy it instead. And sometimes, I remember at one point in time, I don't know if it's still like this, they would tell you couldn't buy the book in the Amazon app. You'd actually have to go to Amazon.com in your mobile web browser in order to buy the stupid book. Or like audiobooks, you could buy it with a credit, but if the price was cheaper by buying it cash, then you'd have to go to the website, and it wasn't always intuitive. So a lot of people probably they made more money by letting people waste the credit, basically. So that was a little sketchy and shitty of them, but just something that I want to point out to people. So if you get into that game, you don't get screwed.
I definitely don't want people to think that I'm praising all aspects of Amazon, because they're a company that you can just go and do your research on it, and there was there's been all sorts of controversies, but I didn't want to talk about them here. But yeah, that's a good thing to point out, though, from a consumer advocacy standpoint.
Yeah.
So right now we're looking at a blank page.
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of what to draw.
What happened to the other character that you're?
It was a cover. It was for a cover for. It's a back cover for our second book for that we have. The part 2 of a part 3 of a 3-part story, and we'll probably be doing the Kickstarter pretty soon. I'm just doing the last bit, which he decided he wanted to throw in now, and it's okay, dude. And then so we're doing the back. So I'm doing a back cover for it. And then, so once I guess settled in, we're gonna do that. So what we're also looking, because I'm looking into it. I may actually try to self-publish the book. So I may try to print the book myself, using a regular printer like you're. Because I think George Anopoulos was talking about it. It's hey, you can just use a regular printer as long as you know the paper weight and setting. It's okay, yeah, I know how to do that crap. For those who don't know, or don't remember, I have an associate's in graphic design, so I know how to do things like print room stuff. I know how to do vinyl stuff. I know how to do business cards, design posters, flyers, stuff like that. It's just no one ever commissions me for those. No one ever out. So those skills kind of go to waste because
maybe you should primarily have some props for that.
How much? What?
Maybe you should have some props for that. Otherwise, you're just going through a list of things and
that I can't. That I know how to do.
Zoning out.
That I know how to do. That I know how to do, but I can't. But I can't show off to anybody.
Yeah.
That's why we're. I'm thinking about
if you had some sort of sample copies or whatever, that might be.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that's what I was thinking of doing is start printing out some of these books and then show them off. And then
are you wanting to sell the copies that you're going to print off yourself, or are you just to show off, to have a sample so you can show in person?
Well, I want to try and sell them off too. Both, I guess.
Yeah. The only thing I know a little bit because I've looked into it, and I got a buddy like that's how we printed the 3D action figures and the cards, and those are Tom Dubois covers that I showed you. Tom Dubois did all the art for Castlevania back in the day, all the box art in Ninja Turtles and shit. So to print them yourself is going to be expensive, man, in ink. depending on what kind of printer you're using. But
I was gonna get the Eco Tank by Epson.
Epson's, yeah. Okay.
Usually I trust Epson or Epson for
Are you doing color or black and white? Are you doing color or black and white?
The cover is going to be in color, but the rest of the book is going to be in black and white.
Oh, okay. You might be able to get away with that.
You might be better served using a laserjet printer, even because I have like an old as crap laserjet printer. Someone gave it to me with like 40% toner left in it, and I used that toner cartridge for like 4 years or 5 years before having to replace it with like a $20 cartridge on Amazon. Bought a 2-pack for $20. One was defective, but I still came out ahead because the remaining cartridge worked. But
the Eco Tank comes with 2 years worth of ink.
My only concern,
I looked up the ink itself, and I think it's like 30 for the color, and then 17 for the black ink. Like,
I trust Epson in terms of printing quality. I think they do really well. Like in general, like I'm not going to go into the weeds, but I am very confident in the printing quality of a color inkjet Epson. My biggest concern is when we're doing black and white in an inkjet printer is, like for example, laserjet print, you could expose it to water, it won't smudge. At least on my HP inkjets, if I get water on the print, it does smudge. So just people buying books, you don't want them bringing them into a swimming pool anyway, right? So maybe it's not really. I'm just putting it out there as a possible thing worth knowing.
Wait! That's not how you read books, is by bringing them into the swimming pool. Like, I've been doing it wrong all these years.
The cover is definitely color, so I do need that.
Of course. That makes sense.
But with covers, usually what you want to do is you want to change the paperweight so that the heavier weight paper one, it doesn't bleed through, and two, you're not nearly putting down as much ink as you think you are, unless you're doing something stupid heavily colored, which is what I don't do.
Yeah. So High Tier Comics, I think I follow you on Twitter. You have a yellow and brown logo on there or something like that, or avatar?
It's a character for my comic, which I kind of just stopped working on it because I was trying to get everything else done.
Yeah.
And dealing with stuff with real life, and I finally won, and I have to go find a job.
Oh yeah. Oh well. Why I was mentioning is I'm friends with Shelby Robertson. Mm-hmm. He's a professional comic book artist. He's worked with Rob Liefeld. He's been a professional comic book artist since he was 16. He lied and said he was 18 and started working at Image Comics, or whatever Liefeld's thing was.
I've been following Joe Mad for years. Since
cool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I actually have the same printer. I have an Epson wide format 13 by 19 printer, so you can print out all your stuff. Shelby's the one that told me to get that, but man.
I looked at them and it's like $700 and something. Like, it's gonna have to wait.
Mine was $400, but it's not an Eco Tank.
Oh, and here's his channel. His Twitter page. This is the last Twitter page, I think. Twitter account.
Yeah, that's the Twitter page for the comic. Okay. I'm probably gonna end up redoing a couple of those pages, and then maybe because I got an iPad and I've been trying to learn to use the iPad. It's just that I can't put it to the stream for some. So I'm trying to figure out how to mirror it to my desktop so that you guys can see what I'm doing on that. But
okay, I'm in the same predicament as I was using a Surface Pro, and now I switched over to get the iPad because the Surface Pro didn't have enough horsepower to do my stuff. I have Clip Studio, I have Photoshop.
Well, technically, it's a Gen 3 iPad that I bought off of a client, and then so it's working fine and dandy. It's just
I don't understand the touch gestures. Like, it's just so foreign to me to swipe from like the corner and stuff. You know what I mean? And then
it's the learning curve. That's my issue. It's the doggone learning curve.
Oh, go ahead.
So otherwise, I would, Because right now I'm actually doing a black cat on it, a black cat poster size or poster size deal on my iPad. And I'm using Procreate, and Procreate has a pretty awesome stability thing to it, so that when I make a so like if I make a curve or a straight line, that line it kind of straightens itself out. So kind of like, so instead of looking like I've been drinking for hours, it looks pretty clean, you know.
So
Yeah,
this
see,
is
I really-
Daniel's, you know, for the
Okay.
high tier comics, the Tech Corner. This is other Twitter
Yeah,
account.
the Tech Corner is mainly for all normal stuff and bullshit stuff. The high tier comics for all the comic stuff and all anything art related. It's taking me a bit to punt politics off of it.
So the Tech Corner, that's for like commissions and stuff, like
No,
especially not safe for work.
you can do commission. You can do commissions on high tier comic, but the Tech Corner, I think it's just my regular, like to say, my personal one. Because I'm starting to stop use Tech Corner as the channel name, I guess. And then so high tier comics is the channel name now, I guess. And then because technically I do have a business name for my freelance stuff. It's like, yeah, well, I don't think anybody. I'm not doxing myself. I don't care.
I'll have to ask the question in a minute, Cap.
Vega graphic design and illustration. That's the name I put for the company. And so,
okay.
But I don't use that on anything for social media, and I probably should. And then because that actually goes because I'm gonna also do an Etsy shop, and I'm gonna do like simple t-shirt designs, like my brothers are Marines, I'm the artist, or something, you know, goofy, silly, something fun.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Gap has an important question for D-Wag.
Okay.
Asks the Wag if he had any luck with the glow rocks.
Black rocks.
Well, he's been walking around. Yeah, actually I have, dude. I found some. I'm smoking, like, you know, that's why I turned my camera off. Smoking right now. To be honest, I'm probably, you guys, dude, I'm so freaking high right now. You guys can't even understand. The only way, see, I'm at another level that you guys can't even comprehend because you are at the level that I am. Okay, because what you need to understand is that you can't understand how smart I am. So, and I'm just kidding. So, but that is my time. No, oh my gosh, see, like I say, like, see, that's my characters. I say a bunch of like stupid shit on purpose.
Yeah,
and I remember I did that. No one,
a character.
Yeah, no one. I said that joke, right? And the point is that like I had one guy who actually like fucking my buddy Arif. It was the first time we met. I came on stream and was acting like real manic and stuff, and was just saying, and he didn't know who I was, right? And so like I'm over here like rolling on the ground, and I say like, dude, what you gotta understand is that you can't understand. And he was basically like, so I understand that I can't so like that's the joke. But anyways, guys, yeah, I am about to go. See, I disappeared. I'm so fucking
cracked out.
Dude, like I'm so cracked out, guys. So much love to the chat. But this is my cue.
It must be some sort of magical crack because you vanished.
It is magical crack. Well, to all you lizard people in the chat,
I highlighted. Eric posted your link.
Thanks, man.
Well, it's actually a link to Eric's channel. I'm a little confused.
Oh, what a clever way to get people to subscribe to your channel. I can appreciate that.
I never said hi to that person.
Well, thanks for going on, and
much love to all you guys. Yeah, I'm in the dump cave now, so I'm gonna go smoke some more crack so I can disappear.
Much love to you, D-Wag.
Much love. Remember, yep, nice meeting you guys. Pleasure to meet you. D-Wag's out, baby. Bow.
Likewise, pleasure to meet you.
Actually, we not noticed it. We actually did run out of time. We're just 10 o'clock here.
That was awesome.
I don't care what anybody says about that guy. No, I'm kidding. Jokes aside, by the way, real quick side note, I did a little Googling research, and apparently this new form of the Epson Eco Tank pigment ink is indeed water resistant. So, my concerns are not withstanding or whatever the right phrase for that is. So
But
that's
it
good. I'm
should
glad. I'm
have
relieved.
validated.
Does that sound? I mean, look, the resolution, the specs on these Epson printers in general, I've noticed they've always had good specs, good dots per inch. They seem to be pretty, good with the color processing or whatever color method they use, grading. I don't know, but you get the idea,
I mean, usually things like Epson, Canon, and any of the other brands, they're usually okay if you're just doing office stuff or you're doing your own personal little bits, maybe even a simple flyer here and there. But if you want to print quality, you use Epson. And that's for anything that you want in printing good quality.
Yeah, the only reason I never...
D-Wag just subbed to your channel, Ronnie?
Oh, why, thank you. Yeah, so basically the reason I didn't recommend Epson to a lot of my customers was because they were using it for office use, and generally, like, I was trying to think from the customer point of view, like, printers that require you to replace the print head periodically. Some people don't want to go through that, but generally it seems that a printer that has a built-in print head will be a better quality printer than a printer where the print head is attached to the cartridge. And it's kind of wasteful to be, dumping the print head every time you dump a cartridge. So, Epson, I believe usually, especially with the Eco Tank, they have to have the print head inside the printer. It's not, something that it's not attached to the cartridge. So, generally, they're replaceable, they're removable in some way. They use the serviceable unless they're designed to last forever. So there's that.
Yeah. So I'm actually looking at some of the tanks. They have a save up to 80% on was low cost replacement ink bottles and cartridges.
Yeah, I mean, when you're buying it by the ounces or the gallons or whatever, not gallons, but you're buying it in like a pint-sized bottle, whatever the right size is, you're getting a good value. I remember Brother, that's the printer that I was recommending for a while, and I currently have a Brother. I have a HP LaserJet that's ancient that I'm on the same toner with, and a Brother color inkjet that I barely use, but when I need color, it's there. And that one, there are modified cartridges where, like, you can pretty much, like, there's a door on the front where you slide the cartridges in, and there's, like, a special way to, like, I think, keep the door open and basically shove a paper clip inside, or they sell a kit on Amazon, so you shove a piece of plastic into it to tell it the door is closed, and you pretty much connect tubes to bottles that sit next to the printer. And then the only other caveat is, like, also when you're doing like knockoff toner on an HP printer, there's a chip on the cartridge that will sometimes prevent it from working. And so I actually was able to go on eBay and buy like a 10-pack of chips for like $5, and you just have to, like, pry it off the cartridge, replace the chip that's on the cartridge with this other chip, and boom, the printer's like, oh, it's legit ink. Because why should we be overpaying?
There are ways to circumvent it, and then but it's like it's the thing is if the Eco Tank works as the way it's advertised, and it can give you up to a year or two of ink per bottle or per refill, then I say it's worth its cost.
Yeah,
because I'm looking at they literally have a printer specific for the creative.
Oh shoot, okay, yeah. And if, look, they sanction it, they're selling the ink, chances are it's probably not going to gunk up. You get some knockoff ink, it might start gunking up on you. So, the fact that they officially sanction it, and apparently, like you said, they got one for creatives, like specifically for you, or your type of usage case, that's cool.
Yeah, the thing is that the asking price is $799.99. So you count that as tax.
By the way, Eric just
you count that as tax. It's probably like $850 if you put in a warranty on it. You're probably looking at least closer to $900. You're spending on that one thing.
Thanks, Eric, and subscribe to Star Wars Boy. I'll definitely check that out.
But they should have like a huge one, which is what I'm trying to find here. Like that I was trying to find. That's the one I was trying to show you guys. Was like these things are huge. And I think they are large format printers.
Oh, are they like they're like the modern day plotters, the ones that are the size of like, like. Those it's like they got their own stand.
They basically they're the length of a baby grand piano.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Basically, so back in the day, they had something called a plotter, which resembles a 3D printer, except it only does, X and Y axis, and it would literally be a machine that had a crayon moving around, and the paper would move backwards so that it could draw circles, and they would use that for architectural blueprints. But then these days, as poster printers became better based on inkjet technology, they started marketing the inkjet poster printers as plotters, even though they're not technically plotters. But at the end of the day, you want to print. Like when I worked at Staples, they had a little print shop, and I eventually started taking advantage a little bit, where I'd go there and say, I want to print out this New York subway map on the poster printer. And that particular day, the thing was loaded with banner paper. Like it's got like a weave in it. It's like really like, oh, nice paper. And I had the most beautiful poster. I gave it to my friend, and when he moved out, I don't know why he threw it out, but I would have happily taken that poster.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now, and I can't find the price, but usually these things like almost
So wait, would you print something that?
$7,000?
For real. So you wouldn't actually use that,
more.
would you?
You're probably looking at least 12. At least 12 for the best one.
So is that, you're not looking for one for your task, are you?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say, because I guess you could, if you printed something that large, you might be able to cut the paper up or something. But yeah, I couldn't imagine why it would be. Yeah, I got you.
No, I'm just looking at just to show you how the stuff they have and how.
Okay, so D-Wag followed. Darren Wagner followed you on Twitter, Ronnie.
Cool.
Let's see. Oh, Eric's got a dip out as well. Wishing one and all a great Thursday. See you. Well, good. Yeah, good seeing you, and thanks for stopping by as always. Just follow Hi to Your Comics on Twitter, says D-Wag.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
And D-Wag says later, Eric. And DJ Ronnie G just thanked D-Wag. Follow back. One word of warning is that YouTube's doesn't like it when people kind of indicate that they're going to sub for subs.
Well, it's a mutual subbing because I genuinely liked what I saw. It's not like I'm trying to get my sub. I don't. You look at my Twitter.
Say that for YouTube.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. I mean, these are things that we're all, I think, genuinely interested in. I mean, my shit's cool. So why would someone sub for sub unless my shit was cool?
YouTube doesn't really want YouTube. It seems like the folks at YouTube don't want YouTube to be an actual community or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm misunderstanding things.
Well, it's a weird dynamic because it's turned into a bit of a social network, and yet they have these corporate content channels.
Yeah, I think maybe some of these legacy media outlets get kind of jealous of and they did these hit pieces about YouTubers and made it sound like everybody was associated with really extreme politics. I'm not going to mention but I'm not going to go into detail. But just but people like PewDiePie, who PewDiePie, from what I've seen, does comedy and gaming, not really political at all. But what was it? The Wall Street Journal went and took some skits he did out of context and made it look like he was one of those. Let's call him one of those World War II guys from the bad. From the enemy side.
The ones you can't see, the guys who cannot see, those blind guys.
Mustache guy,
Charlie Chaplin as a motherfucker.
Yeah, Charlie. We actually ripped off Charlie Chaplin's style of mustache. Oh, it's 4 away from 500. That's awesome. And check out Gap After Dark's channel. Danny's in the chat. he's not sorry to get Gap. He disavows. Okay, so Danny's the villain that D-Wag was telling us about. Thanks for visiting, Danny. I am making Danny a moderator. It's probably a bad idea, but if it weren't for some bad ideas, I wouldn't have tried out some good ideas, you know?
Yeah.
So okay. Thanks, Gap or GAP. Okay, Danny, I don't know who you are. So yeah, I guess he'd have to kind of like rewind. He use the old fashioned term. You'd have to kind of go back in the video to see what happened. Danny doesn't support anyone who supports D-Way. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. So yeah, D-Way had mentioned Danny earlier, and in the story backstory behind that, if you that was really cool because there's a lot of lore that there's so many YouTube channels out there and so many different communities, and trying to bring these communities together to not that I personally am like really all that important in the scheme of things, but I try to have people on from, you know, there's all these different factions nowadays on YouTube, and it's unfortunate. Who is it? A Viper? Well, thanks, Viper. And Viper's so Bao is like how the crack pack greet each other. It's there's some other people go around saying hail, and then there's some other people who say ahoy, which is actually not just like a pirate term. It's actually how they say hello in the Czech language. That's what I think one of the ways is ahoy, and I think that was borrowed from English into Czech, spelled with a J at the end instead of a Y. Kind of interesting bit of trivia, maybe. I think it's interesting because I thought it was just like pirate slang, but
yeah. I got a friend, he, I don't know where hail came from, but I have a friend, he uses the Viking motif, and, you know, he has a morning show every morning at 9 a.m., and, you know, the community is collectively referred to as Valhalla, and so people would say hail, and then, of course...
the Hall of the Warriors, right?
Yeah. So Loki's Mornings of Mischief in this case, you know, and Stone Loki, that's the name of the guy who runs the channel, you know, is friends with the Echo Base Network who do Star Wars content. And so sometimes the people in that community will also address each other, you know, by saying a hail because of that, you know, because of that relationship and because they, you know, melt together. But then one time Coach, the guy in charge of Echo Base Network, there's two guys that run Echo Base Network together, Coach and Nick. And I don't know Coach's real name, but, you know, his name is Coach, probably says it on his birth certificate now. But great, nice guys, really, you know, genuinely nice guys. But, you know, one time he said, hail, and someone was like, hey, man, why are you being one of those guys? He's like, dude, this is a term that predates that. We're not trying to be all like, Heil, you know, like, no.
I don't, it's
Hail Caesar.
Well, that was the old grading. And right, I mean, like hello, my understanding is hello is something that was invented, or maybe not invented for, but it was popularized with a telephone.
Really? Interesting.
I think so.
You mean the word hello was popularized by the telephone, possibly?
I think so, yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay.
Oh, I see a Gap that needs just 2 more subs to get to 500. And Gap saying you guys are awesome.
Gap deserves those subs.
This is what this channel's about. It's not about me trying to impress some like famous comic book, or is this kind of funny, or trade this for some lady, or you know, there's all this stuff going around because. So I'm probably a member. I can't remember if it was like 30 different Discords. But just because I'm a member of like 1 or 2 that like has somebody in it that somebody else doesn't get along with, like I'm supposedly working for for that part, it's just so silly. But unfortunately, that's how things can get on the internet, and I mean, I can even get into like thinking. I got into thinking kind of conspiracy theories like that and stuff, but because there were certain like groups that were, there were certain discords where some of the people went around trolling people, but the thing is that I don't think just because someone belongs to a discord, the way the internet works, it's not like everybody is necessarily going to all fall in line and like follow somebody's commands. Somebody might be going off on their own, doing all sorts of wild, crazy stuff. Somebody might be bossing somebody around, and some people might be, following or whatever. But I don't think it's all cut and dry like I used to think. I don't know if what I said made any sense.
Yeah.
I did.
It probably wouldn't make sense to like a sane individual because this is all just kind of there's a lot of like really silly and unfortunate drama that
it does make sense because when you associate with different people, people would get anal because it's like, oh my God, you're friends with that guy, therefore you must believe X, Y, and Z. And it's like, dude, you can I talk to a lot of people at work that I don't share beliefs with. I talk to a lot of people on the internet, and I think I thought the goal in the 90s was cooperation, tolerance, and all of that crap. And now
there was some cool stuff in the 90s. But take care, D-Wag. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, but we moved away from tolerance towards now, fall in line, but then everyone has their respective sacred cows, I guess, and the media messaging, is essentially telling them now, at least the media messaging in the 90s was more leaning towards tolerance, in my opinion, TV shows that had a message, but usually it's more don't lie, do nice things for people who need it, stuff like that. And then I don't think it's kind of shifted a bit where things get a little preachier and contentious. So, I want to associate with a little bit of everyone. Like, for example, when one of our friends says, they're non-binary, I may not comprehend it, but you know what? I don't have to comprehend it. They're not telling me I have to understand it. They're just telling me they prefer to be, addressed accordingly. And that's fine. Just tell me how you want to be addressed,
We actually have a panelist who comes on sometimes who's identifies as non-binary.
Yeah, it's exactly what I'm talking about. They're cool, they're sweet, and I like their content.
So I love their artwork. Is that there is it's so easy to get caught up in arguing over different things, whereas I'm more interested in people sharing their hobbies, or even if they're not just hobbies,
hobbies or experiences.
With high tier comics or Daniel Vega, aka the Tech Corner or Tech. This isn't just a hobby. You're a professional artist.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm into supporting indie. Independent, creators as well as hobbyists, and that's what the show's about. It's hard for me to explain. I think D-Wag may have kind of ended up with my best explanation, like show and tell for adults, but
yeah, I mean that's pretty much the best explanation.
Yes. Hopefully we can work with we can all work together in the future because I don't see this as I'm not since I'm not out making money, I don't really see this as a competition, and it's so weird. Some people just think that I'm just trying to clout chase or simp for someone, and it's like I'm not planning on ever making money off of this channel. I see some of the bigger channels.
I mean, if you do, it's by accident.
Huh?
If you do, it's by accident.
Well, it's not going to be. I don't plan on ever monetizing the channel because then we'd have to figure out how we split the money and all that stuff. It's just too much of a hassle. There's been too many podcasts and YouTube channels and stuff where people once they get involved in the channel gets involved in making money, then they start arguing with each other, start backstabbing each other, and that already happens without money being involved. So,
well, I'm doing my own stuff. It's like, so I make money on my own end. But if that's money for you, man, that's money for you. I'm just having fun.
Sorry. Looking at a Gap After Dark message. I'm not even sure if I know how to read that. Was it Jaffa Cree?
Jaffa Cree! Cree Jaffa! Usually gotta say it in a really deep voice like a old system lord. Cree Jaffa! Stargate SG-1, yeah. Good show.
Okay, you got the reference.
You got the reference. The rest of it going, huh?
I watched the Stargate movie, and I watched the re-edited version of the TV pilot where they restored some nudity that got cut out.
I got my Stargate cards right here. If you need any movie references, this set of cards are mostly screenshots from the movie, but a few of them are like really nice. So in here somewhere, there's like a number of repeated cards in here, but in one of these pages, and no, I'm not gonna show the whole book. I'm just looking for one set of pages because, you got the cover stories in the movie that Daniel Jackson had to translate, in order for them to like find the address to dial to get the last symbol. You got this nice close up of the chevron thingamajig.
Yeah, it says some collection. Stargate says, or Gap After Dark used to be Gap Stargate, says, love the Stargate cards.
This is the other Jack O'Neill, the one with one L in his name. He has no sense of humor. There's actually a scene in the TV series Stargate SG-1 where Jack O'Neill is saying that's O'Neill with two L's, and he mentions there's another guy in the Air Force, and he has no sense of humor. He's referring to this guy here, which is actually the same guy, but they, play it off as if he's not.
So, what was Kurt Russell's character called?
He is Jack O'Neill with one L.
He was Jack O'Neill, okay.
Yeah, he played Jack O'Neill in the movie.
They changed actors for the TV show, right?
Yes, they did. They changed just about all of them. Like, you had Michael Shanks was originally played by, I think, Daniel Spada or David Spada. I always mix up the names. So this guy here is Daniel Jackson, who is played by the Spada guy, who, of course, is replaced by Michael Shanks in the TV series. And so
it's kind of hard for me to get used to the TV series because I watched the movie, I watched the pilot, and then I maybe watched a couple more episodes, but it had a different feel.
Oh, it does, yeah. No, it's definitely a different feel.
Probably something for me to worthwhile for me to watch and more.
They carry over a lot of the technology, like the sarcophagus, which can heal people, right? Like if you got like an ailment that would kill you, and they go and they hash out a lot more lore. But it is true, like it is a different, it is a different vibe, and some people don't like it. Some people feel that SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis are schlock, but they love Stargate Universe. And then a lot of people hated Stargate Universe. I used to be part of that group who didn't like Stargate Universe. But in retrospect, I came to love it. I came to like it once I gave it a chance. But it was just different because, like, it was more about character development, whereas Stargate SG-1 is more action-oriented. It's more about cool shit happening as opposed to, like, a bunch of whiny scientists cooped up on a ship.
So SG-1, was that the first TV series after the movie?
Yes.
Okay. Hey guys, do you know the best place online to watch? I mean, like, to legally watch that, like, would it be Hulu or Amazon or Netflix?
That's a great question, because I know they were taken down for a while.
Both had it at some point in time.
I mean,
right,
Amazon owns.
I'm actually gonna have to jump off. So this is actually for me.
Well, thanks for joining us. Where can we find you? Or
you can find me at Tier Comics on Twitter. You can find me at the Tech Corner on also on Twitter, Instagram, Yahoo, and that's about it for right now. And then I'm gonna probably try and have a portfolio up soon too as well. And I'll see you guys next time.
Uh,
It was
Yeah,
good
guys.
talking to
Thanks for joining
Mr. Comics. Mr. High Tier Comics.
Yes.
It was a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Yeah,
Hi, guys.
thanks for going on the panel. I know you were busy.
I know. Sorry, man. I got busy with life.
We've been streaming for over 3 hours.
Yeah.
We usually stop at the 3 hour mark.
Yeah.
What were you saying, DJ Ronnie G?
No, good news is it looks like it is on the Amazon River. So because they took it down for a while, but Amazon bought, MGM. So I mean, like, of course they have every right to put the franchises, the franchise on. And it looks like it's up here. It looks like they're not charging extra money for it. So yeah, if you have Amazon Prime, you can stream these episodes legally now.
Awesome. And I think Hulu had it for a while. I'm not sure if they do now, or I think Hulu is where I watched the pilot, but it was it was a version that was edited into like a movie.
Yes.
And
what's
stuff
weird,
that I guess had been censored before, I think, like had some nudity in there. I'm not sure if
I think they did a few things. They changed one of the lines where Samantha Carter was saying something to the guy like, just because my reproductive organs are inside my body doesn't mean I can't fly a jet. But like, it sounded really awkward, the wording, so they fixed it up a little bit. And then the only thing I didn't like about the movie, which they named it, I think the episode was named Children of the Gods, so they, made it as a movie entitled it Children of the Gods. And there's a scene where Apophis, he's the, Goa old guy who, he's the system lord. He's the bad guy, basically, the big bad guy. And there's a scene where he's coming in with this cool, like glider or ship that has like a variable geometry wing, and it does like this like cool CGI. It's like, and there's a cool wing thing. Then it does the wing the wings teleportation device comes out the bottom. And because that ship wasn't really part of canon after that episode, they decided to go back, and when they did the movie edit, they decided to replace that with a more generic ship called an Alcash or Alcatch, which is like one of the Goa old. It looks like a shuttlecraft, but shaped like a pyramid. Let me see.
I probably should check out the other version as well eventually.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think you're not gonna miss out. It's just like if you remember it, I don't think it's worth like rewatching unless you want to catch up on it. Like, and if you watch the original one, you're not gonna be missing anything, and you'll see what the differences are. But if you still remember the movie,
that too, with the pilot, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, if you remember the movie you saw, if you remember the pilot you saw, you don't necessarily have to rewatch it if you want to go straight to the next episode.
Apparently, Pluto TV has an app, and you can watch it there too.
Oh, cool. Okay, that's an option.
Or you can, I think, watch it on the browser too. Which, with my Chromebook and its limited storage space, I often just watch things using the browser.
I just turned on my Chromebook again for the first time today in a while, and I love the Chromebook because, like, when something goes wrong with it, I have this glitch where if I lean on it the wrong way, the picture gets scrambled and it'll lose the memory sometimes. But you restart it, it tells you to sign into your Google account, and boom, it like re-updates it, syncs your data. So it's like, I don't care if the thing, but like it's a beautiful Chromebook. It's an Acer tablet convertible. I haven't used it in months, so there was nothing physically wrong with it, but because my stuff was so out of sync, it told me, hey, your stuff's out of sync, buddy. It told me to sign out. It told me to sign back in. Boom, up to date. But I gotta say, like, I mean, it's not my daily driver, but I gotta say, I use it from time to time, and I like it. It has a place.
I've actually dropped mine on a few occasions, and it's
no moving parts.
A different brand, but I think a lot of these are made like for like kids, for like little kids, so you can
students and kids.
So I think a lot of them are pretty durable. I'm not recommending people try out dropping it because it could break it.
But they're simple in design, no moving parts, no hard disk drive. Granted, everything's got solid state now, basically. But and they don't necessarily even have a fan. There's really not much that can go wrong. When something does go wrong, if it's intermittent, like if it's a generic software issue that would cripple Windows, a lot of times the Chromebook will recover from it automatically. That's one of the things I found beautiful about the Chromebook experience. The fact that something that would cripple your Windows installation or even a Mac installation is a trivial thing that, like, it has a built-in means of addressing it with no interaction from the user except enter your password again. And I'm like, cool. It's really cool. I think it's cool, you know. And for students, it makes sense because, like, when I worked in Best Buy as a tech support guy, I actually have a Geek Squad. I have a Geek Squad badge somewhere here on my desk. Here we are. You see, I'm an agent. There, see, it says agent. Anyway, but jokes aside, like, I would not say that at all supports my skill level because there are good and bad Geek Squad agents out there. But my point is, what is my point? I mean, you get a customer with Windows laptop, they go, oh shoot, it doesn't turn on anymore, and I haven't backed up my essay. I'm working on a PhD thesis, whatever it is. Like, that was an issue. But if those people were using Chromebooks back in 2007, they didn't exist back then, that would not have been an issue for them, which I think is really, really cool.
Oh, Gap just dropped the link to Pluto TV.
Oh, Pluto's cool too. They got, oh yeah. Of course, Gap would know about the Pluto Stargate channel. They have like a Stargate channel. I think it's like Stargate 24/7 or some crap like that. I'm sure you correct me. I'm not sure the detail, but my friend was like showing me that. And so if you're looking for like a random Stargate SG-1 episode, that's a way to do it. You know, if you're just watching at random. Because when you watch a show multiple times, sometimes you can't watch it in sequence anymore, but you can watch a random episode. So I mean, I'm not there yet with Stargate, but there's shows where I got to the point where I couldn't watch them in sequence, but I could flip them around and enjoy it.
The interesting thing about I don't know if you watch Babylon 5, but
oh hell yeah, I love Babylon 5.
Originally aired out of sequence, and
really, yeah. I remember that. There's a lot of it.
Why it was kind of confusing. So I'll sometimes watch when I rewatch it. I'll sometimes flip around the order of the episodes a little bit. Maybe watch it in the intended order, or maybe not. You know, maybe we just watch it in the order that.
Yep, I remember that. And I mean, I didn't watch Babylon 5 when it was new, but I remember reading about that.
Yeah,
and
it was new either, except for like, I mean, I guess occasionally with the friend at the college, but I didn't like it at the time, and then later on, I ended up growing to love it. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's cool. I interrupted a lot myself, as you can see. But jokes aside, real quick, when you bought up Babylon 5, what happened was I bought 3 episodes on VHS. It was the episode, when you go on eBay, if you look up Babylon 5 on VHS, they'll have a set called, I think, Mindbenders or something like that, and it's basically a bunch of Psy-Core related episodes from season really 1. Cool. And each VHS tape came with trading cards. I believe there was like 2 in each box. Yeah, Bester was in multiple of those episodes, of course, and including the Jacob was it Jacob Ironside or Jason Ironside?
Same actor who played Chekhov on Star Trek: The Original Series.
And he was good. Walter Koenig. Apparently, the character's name Bester is named after a sci-fi author from back in the day, and there's some relation there. But he is a sociopathic man. I love it. The character, not the man.
Yeah.
But, he's actually in real life. Walter Koenig is a psychologist, a real psychologist or something. He got a degree. So after Star Trek, I think.
Explain how.
Yeah, I think it does.
To play that character in such a people are used to seeing him as just like.
Yeah, it is
Captain, like goofy but lovable character on Star Trek, and then he's just kind of this really slimy character, playing the slimy character on Babylon 5, like just complete opposite of what Billy Mooney too. From did an excellent job. Totally different kind of character. But
Bill Mooney, you said.
Yeah.
From,
he was Lost good. In Space. He played with his Lanier.
Yep. Yo, he was amazing. He's like, you think he's like he comes in as this naive guy from a monastery, basically, and that's all interesting. But then there comes points where like the Minbari racism shows a little bit. You know, like there's one episode where like Marcus touches him a little bit, and he picks him up by the collar and holds him up like this. And he goes, "We may look like you." We may seem like you, but we are not you. And it was it was a weird racist undertone coming out. Like this elitist, like, you know, we are Minbari. We're different than you, buddy. And you can see by my strength that I usually reserve. That's the case. So it was like really, and they were good friends.
A ranger, right?
Yes.
Is that what they were called, Rangers?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since.
And that was like a whole interesting arc on its own too. The Rangers and you know, the whole, you know, like basically,
Oh, yeah.
like it was like the way Shakar. I remember Shakar, you know, the guy played by Andreas Katsoulis, who played the Romulan Tomalak from Next Generation, Star Trek. He's the one, you know, the non-ambassador. He had like the lizard-like skin, brown lizard-like skin, not green like you. But anyway, Jakar, he was like this diplomat. He starts off with this very dark, like, you know, attitude, like, I want to kill all the Centauri. And then, like, he kind of lightens up over time. He gets more enlightened. But I remember in the beginning, like, they were icing him out. Like, they were having meetings with the Rangers involved, and he was out of the loop. But his planet was besieged, and he was like, he wants to do anything he can do to help his besieged world. His world got bombarded by mass drivers and stuff. Basically, they used magnetic accelerators to throw multiple asteroids at his planet to turn it into a dust ball and screw up the environment. And so his planet's in a bad situation now. After originally his people went to be the aggressors against the Centauri. The Centauri, the guys with the funny hair. I named my turtle after one. But
yeah,
he went on the offensive, and so he's going up. He's like saying, "Hey, I noticed you guys got some a group of Membari and humans working together, and it's very sketchy." And they're like, "Oh, I don't know anything about that, Jakar, but we'll let you know if we find anything out." And like, "Yeah, sure you do," you know. And he kind of had to get like, you know, like get to convince those people to like let him help in their endeavor. Like, it wasn't more, even though they seemed like they could benefit more, he could benefit more from their help. He actually had something to offer to help, you know, Captain Sheridan of that station. And I'm glad you mentioned Babylon 5, because what I got to do, Lorenzo, is after I get off, I got to finish getting ready for tomorrow's stream. So what I mentioned earlier was
oh yeah, I need to get going soon.
Yeah, so long story short, tomorrow night, me and the legendary Tron will be doing a stream about sci-fi ships, and I'm gonna put a link up so that, you know, you guys can, like, you know, like, whatever, check it out.
Hey, Dragon.
Hello.
Don't know
Hey, what up?
how long we're gonna be able to stick around. I get kind of tired, but glad you could join us.
Yo, word.
Yeah,
So long story short,
like Babylon 5, The Legend of the Rangers.
oh yeah, I like that show. I mean, I understand why people didn't like it, and I understand why it couldn't go further, but I didn't totally mind it. I mean, I get it. I get why it wasn't like the best Babylon 5 by any means, but I kind of enjoyed it and was a little upset it didn't go further. I think the big problem, one of the big problems, was like the ship they had this room in it where the tactical officer, would go in there and get suspended in a 0G environment, and then she would do karate kicks, and the ship's weapon systems would be linked to her.
That part was kind of
that was a little absurd. I thought it was kind of cool and flashy.
I guess.
Yeah, it was different, you know, and I could understand why people would have trouble taking that seriously. I mean, I'm a little bit more flexible in being able to tolerate weird crap. I'm like, I have a weird headcanon, or, you know, ways of like justify. I mean, like, I'm a lifelong Trekkie, so you got to justify a lot of bull crap, you know, throughout
Crusade,
years.
I thought was great.
Oh, that was great. Yeah, that was a cool premise.
The Ranger, yeah, that was quirky, but I mean, I still enjoyed it though. But yeah,
I mean, that was going to be a pilot.
That is the part that was kind of silly.
In fact, I'm glad you mentioned it. I almost forgot about that movie. I'm glad you mentioned it too, because I'm gonna be mentioning, basically, so long story short, Tron and I will be discussing ships. I'll be flashing images or video clips on the screen as we discuss them or give our thoughts about these ships. And I feel that I definitely have to have inclusion of that karate kick weapon system ship. So I'm gonna get that in my video encoder right now.
Good. So
and then of course,
Imperial Dragon joined us, but I can't hear him.
Yeah, where is he? I didn't hear him say anything yet, and it's good to see you, even though I don't see or hear you. But welcome. But you know,
Hello?
so basically, it'll be, hey, there you are. We got you.
There you are.
Welcome to the stream.
Is there a delay? Dragon?
Yeah.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Okay, now
Yeah,
I
we
can.
got, we got you.
Well, thanks
So
for
you're gonna
joining
do TV ships, movie ships. So basically, sci-fi TV, sci-fi movie, and a couple of ships from anime franchises. But mostly, it's gonna be like things that people are familiar with: Star Trek, Star Wars, Babylon 5, and the odd movie ship like the one from Black Horn and the one from Alien.
I'll be back in a minute.
That is the plan for tomorrow's stream with Tron. But you know, we're gonna do that 8 p.m. Central Time. That's 9 p.m. Eastern or New York time, depending on what side of the Eastern seaboard you're residing on. And so, you know, I got my prep work to do. So right after Lorenzo gets back, I'm probably going to drop out so that I can, you know, redouble my efforts in order to do that. Because basically, you know, the plan is to put the pictures into a video encoder and, whatchamacallit, take some screenshots, but also make some of my own clips out of it. So that's the rough plan. But how you doing? Yo, Ethereal Dragon, where are my manners? How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, man, I'm taking it easy. You know, like, just got some prep work to do, and I'm really glad that Gap After Dark mentioned Crusade so that I didn't forget to include that beautiful ship. Crusade had a cool ship that used alien and human hybrid technology, and had a pretty badass weapon system, although when firing the main gun, the ship, what was it, the Excalibur, would have to wait 1 whole minute before it could do anything. I think, like, it drained its energy reserves, so the ship was vulnerable for like a minute after firing the weapon. I don't know if they did that for the whole series, but just worth noting there. But yeah, so, you know, Gap After Dark, of course, is our resident Stargate fanatic alongside anybody else who likes Stargate. Like, I'm a big fan. And all that jazz. So, you know, that's what we're, you know, they covered a lot of ground today. When you rewind, we discussed crack rocks, 3D printed crack rocks, not real crack rocks. But there was a young man who came in who, you know, was working on some projects in that realm, and pretty funny stuff.
Never got into Babylon 5.
Yeah, a long time ago, I used to see commercials for it and think, oh, it's the guy from Star Trek. They had Chekhov on it, but I was like, I don't want to watch this. I was watching Deep Space Nine at the time, and I just thought that Babylon 5 was like a knockoff of Star Trek. But in retrospect, some argue that it may have been partially the opposite there when it came to Deep Space Nine. I don't really care about that.
I heard that. Heard that what's the guy's name? The same guy who directed She-Ra. That he had pitched. The allegation is that he had made a pitch to, like, Paramount or.
Yes, Joe
whomever.
Michael Straczynski, the guy who did that. Is that the guy? Yeah.
And then they rejected the show, and then ended up coming up with a Star Trek, the Deep Space Nine, which he thought had a lot of parallels to the show. And I've watched them, like, side by side, and I've seen some definite parallels. On the other hand, I do also see some parallels with the Next Generation, you know.
Interesting. That's a good point.
And the thing is, it got to the point where there were so many different writers and actors who were on both Deep Space Nine and, you know, and Babylon 5 or some other Star Trek, you know, shows, and, you know, and it was just like, it got to the point where it's like, oh, you know, they're both, I think they're both great shows in their own right. Unfortunately, at the time, I didn't quite get it. Like, this one friend of mine was like, he was like talking about, but they've got this really great CGI, and really at the time, I didn't really appreciate Babylon 5's computer generated graphics compared to Deep Space Nine. Nowadays, I look at it and it's like, it was really cool what they did with, like, the Boron ship and stuff. But at the time, because they were using computer generated graphics as well on Deep Space Nine, and at the time, I had, you know,
they used more expensive
if you want to
computers.
see something, if you want to see a major ripoff, watch the Pokemon movie. Was it Secrets of the Jungle or something? It's literally Tarzan crossed with Avatar.
Oh boy, yeah.
I mean, even the vehicles when they're going to, when the humans are going to attack the tree because they want the healing water, the vehicles look very much like the ones from Avatar.
Wait, what movie was this that you just mentioned, or show?
What was it? I think it's called Pokemon Secrets of the Jungle.
Got you. Okay.
It's like, wait a minute, this is Tarzan meets Crossbow Avatar by Pokemon.
Well, have a good night, Gap After Dark. Keep on calling Gap Stargate, because that's what he used to be called.
Yeah, I don't know why he changed his name, but I mean, I can understand why he might have changed his name, maybe because, you know, the fact that no new Stargate stuff has come out in a long time. But, you know, whatever works for him, you know, I respect it.
He explained it on stream before. Some sounded like there was some other stuff going on too.
Got you. Okay. Well, I respect that.
So, yeah, the thing is, yeah, I think there are like, so there are parallels. Even so, they did have they had an episode of like both the Star Trek franchise and Babylon 5 had and I don't want to give it away, but they had different episodes involving like parasites, parasite type aliens and stuff like that. They handled
good
it
episode.
differently, and I don't want to give away any spoilers, but it's interesting to see the similarities and differences, and to appreciate them too now.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't really understand Babylon 5 at first, and I think it's because I hadn't seen the pilot.
Really? The pilot was a little different, I mean, there's a one episode pilot or a little, thing. And some of what was cool was if you ever look up the movie trailer or the trailer for the pilot episode, it has this like different lighting aesthetic. It's got this cyberpunk vibe to it. It's kind of, interesting, but I think people could do
versions of that, or maybe it's just another movie.
I know the trailer, there was like one trailer or preview that gave it a different feel, but as far as I'm aware, there's only one version of it, basically. And main thing is that what you get out of it is there was a different doctor than Dr. Franklin, right? There was the, darker doctor. So you got Dr. Franklin, who's like sort of like a lighter complexion, not radically light, but, and then you had this guy who I think had an African name and a real African name, and, he's just a darker doctor. And basically, he did surgery on Kosh, the alien. And because nobody is ever supposed to see a Vorlon at that point in time in person, he ends up getting housed away back to Earth, basically, and working at the, at the head facility or whatever. And this guy shows up, which is fine. Of course, that's the lore reason. I'm sure in real life, it's just they needed a different actor because this guy wasn't available. But there's some background there that the first episode sheds light on. There's like during the series when you first meet Lita Alexander, when you see Lita Alexander for the first time, she's new. You don't recognize her. In fact, this trading card here doesn't look like Lita Alexander that many people would know because she doesn't have the red hair. This is what she looked like in The Gathering, the pilot episode. This is Lita. Yeah, this is Lita during the pilot.
I think they did maybe re-edit it for maybe like TNT. I don't know what channel it started off.
Okay, that makes sense.
Channel, I don't know.
I could buy that.
I think it didn't, unless I'm thinking of, there was another movie though that told the story about the war and everything.
Oh, that was a cool.
Another confusing thing was that a lot of the shows were like a lot of the episodes had flashbacks, and that's how they told the story about what they call it, the Great War.
They had the Dilgar War.
Then they actually had a movie that explained it.
But it was the Dilgar. I think it was the Dilgar War, unless you're talking about the old ones. But the Dilgar War is the one that Earth Alliance, Earth Force came onto the scene basically as like the big boys on the block. Before that, people weren't taking Earth seriously, and then we show up. We're like, hey, look, we kicked ass in the Dilgar War. We saved the rest of these planets here. We're actually, we could play on the galactic stage. And then the Centauri Londo was kind of saying, don't mess with the Mimbari, and they mess with the Mimbari. I don't want to give
too many spoilers if people haven't.
Oh yeah, you're right. I should be careful. Yeah, good point.
But the thing is that it was really confusing though, because it was was it Sheridan? Who was the original Who was the original captain?
Michael Sinclair, Jeffrey Sinclair. We got that's. Luckily, I have like three. The only three trading cards I have, and that's
thanks.
And he did all of season 1.
Now, I guess in real life, the actor was like turned out. I think he was schizophrenic, or I can't remember.
Basically,
mental health issues. And so I think it was really difficult for him to be playing this character, especially he's having these issues, and then in real life, he's playing a character who's having mental health issues, and it's just
dude. There was a mind control episode.
It was a very confusing thing to watch. Like if you didn't catch the pilot and you didn't catch each and every episode, because it was like an actual story. There was an there was a story arc, which
True.
Deep Space Nine had that to a degree, but I think it was semi-episodic. I think during the
Dominion War.
I think
season one wasn't very episodic, but like it got more like that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you. I apologize.
That's fine.
But no, you got it right. Like there was episodic to an extent, but season one wasn't super episodic. It was possible to watch it out of sequence, but there were some some sequential stuff, some chronological stuff going on. But as we got towards the Dominion War, that's when things really got like that.
Yeah. So, that's where it got more of a story arc. I'm getting really tired, and I'm. I don't know if my neighbor's here. I don't want to keep my neighbor awake.
I understand. Yeah, so I forgot what I was going to say about that, but basically, I wanted to add about, Michael O'Hare, the guy who played Jeffrey Sinclair on Babylon 5. There was a couple episodes, one involving mind control, like literal mind control, or almost like Manchurian Candidate type stuff, mind blocks, where like they would keep saying this thing, there is a hole in your mind, and he didn't know what that meant, and I'm not going to tell you what that means.
They're only giving away too much.
But like basically, in short, it's just this mental stuff.
Spoilers, though. I mean,
so I'm not gonna mention anything else from the show, but I'm just gonna say that like playing those roles and playing those scenes, and then going through what he was going through real life, like we didn't know what was going on when it was airing. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Problem.
Yeah, so I feel for the guy because of the fact he had to act through that role. It's like I give him props.
And They actually replay that like in like the opening credits to every episode.
Yes.
That, I think.
Oh God, yeah.
So that was, I don't know how much he would like actually watch the show after. If it was, after it was made.
Some actors don't rewatch any of that stuff.
I mean, you don't know if they had dailies or what they would watch, like, to see how their acting was, but it'd be interesting when somebody's working that many hours in a show. It'd be interesting to know which percentage of them actually watch the edited product and which don't. But just having to play that character, though, that would be that must have been really confusing. But I probably should get going.
Yeah, I gotta get going too anyway. Like I said, I'm gonna do a prep. I already dropped the link to the Legendary Trons channel. We'll be streaming around 8 p.m. tomorrow. It'll be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. in New York time or 8 p.m. Central time. And I think let me see, make sure I put the link. Yeah, I put the link up already.
I'm Eastern with this New York time. So.
Yeah, I'll put the time next to it.
Awesome.
Oh wait, to put a bunch of asterisks there. Copy link address. Okay, so. That's going to be Starships stream at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Oh, wait. Yeah, 9 p.m. East. There we go. That's for Friday.
Right now, the Babylon 5 pilot has done lots of things. You actually looked at his career?
Huh? Sorry, Drake.
The guy that wrote the Babylon 5 pilot in the beginning.
Yeah, who's that?
He wrote for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, She-Ra.
Oh yeah,
the real Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah,
Yep, Joe Michael Straczynski. Yeah, I didn't know I read his biography, and that's when I learned about him writing Spider-Man, and He-Man and the real Ghostbusters. That got me because I used to watch the real Ghostbusters, and I have some of the toys, so I was like, oh shoot, that was him. That's just kind of cool.
Yeah,
he has a distinguished
unfortunately,
career.
They brought in a consultant or some. No, they brought in some supposed expert on like child psychology, or I don't. That was.
I was talking about that stupid mother's group that ruined Ghostbusters.
Yeah, they brought in somebody who gave like really bad advice.
Never listen to a mother group. We know
a mother group.
Some righteous mothers are the reason woman we had Prohibition, which skyrocketed crime, and we never actually recovered from Prohibition. Then they came up with this whole raise the drink age to 21, which only caused more troubles.
And yet they're okay with the draft at 18. They're okay in the 1920s pressuring men into going to war. I remember they had the White Flower, White Rose Crusade in England.
This would be a topic for another discussion.
Yeah, you're right. I'm opening up a can of weeds here. But, I'm just saying, like, that fascinated me learning about that. And that's, Ethereal Dragon, it's very nice to meet you, and I hope I see you again on these streams, or if you got channels, content, or something, post it up, man. We're the way you think.
I haven't touched my YouTube channel in years.
Where can we find
the last video? The voice, only the two people that were on the two guest people didn't even get recorded onto the video somehow, so I had to delete it.
Oh my god, that sucks. I hear you.
So I need to end the stream because I'm probably keeping my neighbor away.
Yeah, so it's literally it seemed like it was just me talking to myself.
So Dragon,
I hear you. Oh my god, it's brutal.
Where can we find you?
Well, Ethereal Dragon.
You mean my Twitter?
Yeah.
There we go.
Dragon Ethereal.
Okay.
Cool. Got it. I'll get a link.
I gotta close out the stream. I'm your host, Lorenzo Sleestakians. You can find me here every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern. It's either 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. over in the UK, and I think 8 a.m. Friday mornings in the Philippines. We got quite a few Filipino viewers. Appreciate everybody for watching. Take care, everybody, and have an excellent night or day wherever you are.
Good night.